Bleep, 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 bleep. Ooh, that's a new one. Bleep, 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 bleep. Oh, DanPentz.
Mr. MattyAP.
Oh, looking handsome as ever.
Oh man, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity because I was just watching your stream, and now I can see your face on my computer.
Oh my goodness. And in much lower fidelity because I'm using a much shitter webcam for what you see. So you get to see me in the and the best part is you get to see me from this slightly off skew angle and no one else gets to see it. You're the only one. I like to make it a bit special for the guests, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I like to give you a little
nice.
something extra, you know what I mean? How you feeling, by the way? Also, during this time, everyone let me know if he sounds, equal level to me as well. But how you feeling, Dan?
Microphone test for Matty any stream.
Oh, goodness me. Okay. Well, that sounds good to me. You have you have such a voice. Like, I don't know, people probably tell you all the time. You got a damn good voice on you.
I don't know, man, because I feel like sometimes I'm like I speak really high pitched, or like I speak like a bit sort of doofy or something. But thanks, man. That's very nice of you.
You know what? You got range. Do you sing? Are you a singer? Are you a bit of it? Do you sing?
I sing terribly.
Really?
Terribly, man.
Have you tried? Oh God, we should just kick it off. I want to ask you straight away. Or okay, I've already got things. How's he sound? Sounds good. Here's a tad louder. I'll turn him down a slight bit. I can't have the guests show me up. Show me.
Lead the charge, Matty.
Although it's funny as well because Red Ops was on yesterday, as you know, and we're testing his mic. And no, nothing wrong with it. He still sounded fine. But as we're doing the test, he's like leaning up to the mic, and I was saying, "Are we good? Are we good?" And then the minute we start, he sits back in his chair and he's like a mile away from. I'm like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "I hope this like doesn't sound too bad." All right.
Yeah. I'll try and keep in one spot so it's nice. Like a gorilla fist
you're
in
fine.
front of the microphone.
I would never try and make you conform to a single position for the next 5 hours. I'm sure that we're going to be podcast. If my power
minimum
allows, we have to make sure that we only talk about good things about the government today, because yesterday I flamed them hard for certain practices, and it was shortly after that power went out. So I believe they're probably listening in right now.
They probably are.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that we're very careful with what we talk about. We have to only PC stuff. Only really, we don't want the government on my case again. They've told I can't use the word blood money. Apparently, that will maybe the
yeah. Okay.
That might have been.
My knowledge of politics is terrible, so you'll get no little or none out of me.
You know what? Mine is too. Yet I still like to somehow spout my views on it. All right, everyone. I'm very excited to announce that today on the podcast, you know him, you love him, the swole ledge dog himself, DanPentz, everyone. Dan, welcome in.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Matty.
I feel like I need like a clapping sound effect, because it's just me. It's just me doing this, and it's like a slow clap. Do you reckon when someone claps just by themselves, it's almost like insulting? I don't know. You know, when
maybe
like just one, like, you know those people when you go to a show, maybe like even like like something, and only one person claps. Is that worse or better than no one clapping?
Well, it's interesting because they clap to get everyone to join in, but like, how long do I clap for before someone joins in? How long do you give it?
Have you? Okay, do you go to like comedy shows or anything? Have you ever been to like some form of comedy show?
Yes, yeah, I've been to probably 3 or 4. I went to one last week.
Really?
Because the Melbourne Comedy Festival's on. Yeah.
Was there anyone like that you saw that, like, who was like the biggest name there? Because sometimes they don't have like massive names, but sometimes the underrated, like not so well-known comedians are the ones that are the best.
Yeah, so we went, it was to one specific show, like one guy was holding it. His name is Aidan Taco Jones, I'm pretty sure. He's been doing comedy for 7 years, and he's very funny.
Really?
Yeah, he has this really, I won't give away his bits, but if you get a chance to see him, I would recommend it. But it's very unique. It's like a bit of storytelling. It's not sad, but he tells a bit of his life story. He's done lots of drugs, and then he just gets everyone involved in his story, and he tells it in a very funny way. I
love it when, I mean, that's really the thing of a comedian, isn't it? It's to really reflect on like things that they either that have happened in their lives, or they like. Were you ever a fan of Carl Barron?
Yeah. And so many one-liners come from Carl Barron.
And he's such an observer. Like, he sees the world in such a different way to everyone else. Like, the way he seems to be able to spin it is just incredible. I wish I could do that. I went to the last comedy show I went to. My wife bought me tickets. We went down the coast and there was a comedy festival. I think it had like maybe 3 guests. Oh, your camera's frozen up a bit there. You look good though.
Oh really?
Oh no, it's good. It's good. It seems to do that like once maybe per episode, so maybe we've gotten it out of the way.
I hope so, man. I don't have the best internet, so hopefully.
Nah, you're crazy. Yeah. I think it's on my end. I think it might be on my end. But I went to a show and there was I think it had 3 comedians. And the best part was, because sometimes when they do those comedy shows, they have like, you know, the guy that kind of like running in between acts, and he'd be like, all right,
like an MC
guys,
sort of thing.
Yeah, but he's a comedian himself, and he'll kind of like, you know, hype it up and say some jokes. And
he
was like the funniest guy there, and I was kind of like, come back every time he went to like bring him together. But there was one guy that I'm like, how did you get to the point where you're on stage? He had dry humor. I can't even remember his name, but his jokes were so dry to the point where I'm like, was that a joke? Like, was that just a weird, like a bad story? And you're kind of like, how did they get to that point? Like, I wonder what the process is to getting like booked for stuff like that. But as well, I always think during that, right, that comedy must be one of the hardest fucking gigs, because I mean, it's the worst when you're just around friends and you tell a joke and no one laughs. But can you imagine being on stage and it's your job? You tell a joke and no one laughs. Like, that would be the worst. Do you reckon you could do it? Like, you reckon?
Mate, I want to. I want to do it. I want to do a stand-up set this year. I want to start with an open mic, and apparently that's meant to be really, really hard because, you know, you just like, you stand up in front of like the crowd for the first time with like, you know, a few minutes worth of material. That's my plan, to do it sometime this year.
Really? You brave soul.
Yeah, I asked Em, my wife, I asked for some acting lessons as well. Yeah. So, like, I just want to give it a go. Like, sort of, you know, that's the creative outlet sort of thing.
You really, like, I want to delve into that a bit later. You just seem to go for anything. You don't seem to have any fear or, like, any hesitation to just jump headfirst into something. And that proves it. And I just want to say as well that I didn't know anything about you wanting to do any stand-up, any open mic shit. That was the most organic, like transition into a like, what the fuck you actually do? Like, want to be in that? Like, I don't even know how you got to that. Bro, this podcast sometimes.
Man, it just goes. You're a gun, Matty. You're a bloody gun.
I don't know how we got to
this flow.
Yeah, that's probably the best flow so far. I don't want to pull myself up on it, but Jesus, I'm excited to hear. I want to. Where do you reckon you'll be doing open mics? Like, it'll be Melbourne, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
so I haven't looked too much into it, but like I'm pretty sure there's venues, like comedy venues and rooms that one night a week they'll have, like, you know, come along and, you know, volunteer and stand up and, you know, show people what you got.
I would be terrified. Like, do you reckon you'd be terrified at all, or do you reckon you just go in and you wouldn't have any fear?
Oh mate, I'll be shitting bricks.
Oh really?
but I think you need to. Like, I perform best when I'm a bit nervous. Like, I was a bit nervous before, for today. Like, I think you need it to take it seriously.
Yeah.
But like, whether, you know, seriously as in like creative or seriously as in serious, but you know what I mean. Like, you'd have to you rise to the occasion. I think that's a very important thing. Like, because I noticed,
true.
Like, with like public speaking and whatnot, because I had to MC a wedding last year, a pretty big wedding in Sydney, or just south of Sydney. You're in Sydney, yeah?
Yeah.
So just south of Sydney in is it Bowral Hills or Pepper's Estate or something in Bowral? Does that sound familiar?
I believe I probably photographed there. Yeah, I always connect. Look, because you'd probably be the same shooting weddings and whatnot. It gets to a point sometimes where you just can't remember either couples that you photographed.
yeah.
Which sounds terrible. But down the track, like, I've probably photographed maybe 500 plus weddings. Photographed and video. I've been doing it for, I'm kind of out of the scene now, but for over a decade, I'd say. Or close to it. It'd probably be about a decade.
So you do film as well?
I started out doing film, yeah. I started out doing film, which is brutal as fuck in the wedding scene. Have you ever tried film in weddings?
Yes, I have. So my wife's a photographer. Like, she's the boss. I'm kind of like just like the second shooter / pack animal. But
okay, yeah. I'm the same now. So we're in the same boat. Yeah. My wife runs her photography business, and I help out as well. So there you go. Very similar.
You support.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started just like, you know, like maybe we've been doing it for like Em's been doing it for a long time, but I've probably been helping her for about 4 years or so.
Hell yeah.
And I started off just carrying stuff and, like, you know, not really know much about cameras, but now I'm at the stage where, like, I get a lot of shots, and generally what I like to do, what sort of my forte is now, is I have like a 135mm lens on, so I stand kind of far back and just get like candid shots, nice shots, just. I'm out of the way, but getting all the really nice shots.
We're like the same person that's scary.
Really?
Yeah, I have the 70 to 200 lens, and I'm just way back there.
It's a big one.
Through the bushes, bam, 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 bam. Just take that the Call of Duty sniping skill that I don't have and trying to apply it to, just lining people up, turning into a game.
Yeah,
I love it because look, it might be the weirdest thing, and your camera's frozen. I don't know why it's freezing so much, but we'll see.
Sorry, man.
No, it's fine. If it keeps doing it, we can try and like refresh the thing. It seems pretty frozen, but damn, you take some good freeze frames. I don't know what it is. God damn, is there a freeze frame you can't do perfectly? Yeah,
mate, it is well frozen, isn't it?
It is well frozen. It is like 100% frozen. We can Yeah,
what's the best way to handle this? Is it to leave the call?
Yeah, we can leave the call. We'll reboot the call. Let's do that. All right, so we'll leave it quickly. I'll give you a call back, and we should be cruisy as fuck. All right, let's go, man. I'll give you a leave. All right. Oh wait, did we fully? Okay, did he leave? Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll give him a call. All private messages. All right, let's see. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. Good shit.
Awesome. Is that better?
That's perfect. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah. If it freezes up again, we can always. I'm not opposed to like breaking the moment to just be like, oh yeah, we'll just restart it because people want to see your movement and whatnot. And it's the internet. Anything could happen, baby.
Especially Aussie internet.
Aussie internet. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so with the photography, do you do your own? So I know you shot a special friend and viewer of ours, both of ours, Miss Unisaw's wedding and Jacob's wedding.
Absolutely. That was great.
Which sounds amazing. I believe you did it as a gift, which
gift because
is a massive gift. Like that's like one of the biggest things you could, I believe, do for someone. You know what I mean? Like essentially, I think people don't realize sometimes how much work goes into photography. You know what I mean? Like we've just. Not just the shooting on the day, but the work that goes into it after. There's almost more work, I would believe, after.
Oh, dude, there's heaps more work after.
Yeah, I mean, it can be as much as we love the job. Can be a bit mind numbing at times because it can be monotonous, over and over kind of motions and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, considering like how much wedding photography packages cost and whatnot, that's a pretty big gift. That's a pretty big gift.
Yeah, I guess like to me, I'll start at the start. I think
do it.
They said that I think they said they were going to use one of their phones. Like
yes, which I heard. Yeah. Please, big PSA to anyone out there: if you ever get married, please do not get anyone to just shoot it on a phone.
Don't do it.
And don't even get like if you ever unsure if like professional photography is worth it. I'm not saying it because I'm from the scene, but it's 100% worth it because those are memories that you want to keep. And yeah, you can still have a lot of great memories with Uncle Bob taking a couple of happy snaps, but it just you won't have that same fidelity to remember it by. You know what I mean? It's important. I think it's one of the biggest days you should really. It might seem like a lot of money at the time, but I think it's definitely 100% worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because, so she said, they're going to do it on their phone. And, like, and they invited me. And I thought, well, the least I can do is take one of Em's cameras. It doesn't cost anything for me to take one of her cameras along. And, like, I may as well, take some photos too. All it is my time. And I'm going to be there anyway. So why not, like, just be there and shoot? It was only a little bit more effort for me. But, like, giving them the gift of nice photos they'll have forever.
Yeah.
Massively, hugely outweighed my effort, my input.
Yeah.
So like it was just a real no-brainer, and Em didn't mind doing the editing because Em does the editing because she's the she's the brain behind the operation.
Yeah.
So
wow,
it was a no-brainer.
Huge, man. That's massive.
Yeah. Blessed to bless, man.
Yeah, I mean, I will openly say at this point, and it's going to sound terrible. No one knows the business I work for. Essentially, I don't work for Tay anymore. My wife. I got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. I will help when she needs it. I shot one a couple of weeks ago, and I'd like to say I'm damn good at it because I've done it for so long. But I can't do it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It got to a point because here's the thing. I always advise people that do something creatively that they love, because I guess your story is slightly different. You were in it first to help, and then you slowly became more involved in it to the point where now you're doing it as essentially an equal to your partner. For me, I started out with like filming and whatnot just for fun when I was like, 16 or whatnot, filming unicycle videos of all things. I used to
skateboarding too, or
no, just riding my unicycle. Yep. Nice. I used to go to skate parks and whatnot, and I used to be one of the top unicyclists in Australia. So that was very exciting. So we used to make videos and whatnot. Just a humble brag there, by the way. And it was a big passion. I moved into making other videos like for friends. We just made fun shit, and I used to love it. Biggest passion. It was like what I was going to do for my life. And then I came out of school. I did like the final year 12 video. And everyone loved it. And teachers started going, you need to do something like this with your future. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I will. Because I had no direction for anything. So I studied film and television coming out of school, and which was all right. But I was doing that at like TAFE after work every day. So it was hard to apply myself because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
But then I went to a Christian school, and the Christian circle, everyone's very keen to get married so they can fuck. Essentially, definitely. Not because obviously no one wants to do the dirty before, because Jesus might watch. That's fine. I was in the same boat. But so everyone's getting married really young. If anything, in my mind, probably a little bit too young sometimes. Which makes me nervous. Because there's a lot of there was a fair few people that went in my class that got married like a year or two after they left school, which is fucking crazy.
Late teens, early 20s, very young.
No need to rush it. 20s is where you really start developing and learn a lot of shit. So I got roped into kind of like, hey, Matt holds a camera, like, do you want to film our wedding? So I started doing all that shit. And then I started going, hey, this is pretty good. Maybe I can make some money off it and whatnot. So I turned it into a business as the next progression thing. I got really into it. Nice. And then I started doing corporate stuff. But the problem is over time, with doing it as a job, it has that potential to kill the passion for it. Do you agree with that? Do you find that
bloody oath, 100%?
Because it can make it that you just don't want to go out and shoot your own projects anymore because it feels like work. And it's like people might look at that and go, oh, how dare you? You're supposed to love what you do and all that. But at the same time, as soon as you surrender your creative passion to be a job, to make money for it, to give it to someone else in a way, you lose part of that creative control. Like you have to listen to the clients, or you have to agree with the criticisms of the bride and groom, which is fine, but you start losing that slight ownership of your creative passion. And I noticed that, and I thought I need to let people know that if they're getting into stuff like that, they need to really weigh up is it worth sacrificing my love for something? Essentially, this could lead to me, but no one ever thinks of that. People kind of go, oh no, I love it no matter what I do. It's just one of those things. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one to do, because you should do what you love doing, because yes, it is work, because you have to work at it, you have to put effort in.
Yeah.
But you're better off if you can do something that you're passionate about, it makes work so much better.
That's it. Yeah,
I think there's a balance there somewhere.
There is a balance. I think it's a big balance. I think for any job, I think it's hard. I mean, also your camera's frozen again, by the way. I don't know are you able to turn it off and on quickly? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I can turn it off and on again. I can do the internet trick.
Oh, not not even the internet. Just the camera. Just give it a flick there, if that's a thing. Did it work? There might be just a hide camera and then bring camera back up thing or something. Could be wrong.
No, there will be somewhere.
Another gorgeous freeze frame though. I'm not going to deny it. Your eyes are piercing right into me. Just piercing into my soul. It looks great.
Oh, I can't find the button. I know when I'm streaming, I can pause
weird.
it in Streamlabs, but not in not in the Logitech software.
I'll have to do some research and see what could cause camera freezing on Discord, because it's definitely only happened a few times, but very minimally, only for a few hot seconds, and that kind of comes good. So, but yeah, this is
is it still frozen right now?
Yeah, it's hard frozen right now. It's a good freeze, but
That's interesting because on my preview,
it shows that it's moving. Yeah,
it's moving.
Yeah, because I was on the Twitchy Coffee podcast a few months ago, and my camera was freezing up. It looked good to me, so I wouldn't know when it's frozen. So yeah, I wonder whose end it's on. I'll have to really look into that. It's going to be like an interesting little research thing for me to do because I have no idea why it would be doing that. But obviously, I'll have to try and avoid it. All right, let's quickly try and do the leave call thing again. If we have to do it a few times, it's oh wait, let me see if I can turn off camera maybe. Oh yeah, see right below your face there should be a turn off camera thing, where it says like leave call on the left hand side.
There we go.
Ooh. Hey, there we go.
Really?
Nailed it. Yeah, perfect.
Nice. All right,
there we go.
If that happens again, I'll just do a quick little button flick.
Yeah,
and we'll be good.
I'll let you know, brother. Too easy, too bloody easy. Man. So there you go. So if anyone ever needs some tech support, you know who to call. Not me, because I don't know much. But anyway, so yeah, so I mean I guess that's kind of like the thing. It's just I feel like for me. This is going to sound terrible, but with video, I hate doing stuff with video anymore. Which, I don't know, is that bad? Like, it was like my biggest passion. And then it's not that I can't stand it. If I'm doing something like for Twitch and whatnot that I'm excited about, then it's different. But it's crazy how much my mind altered over like my 20s of it being something I was so passionate about, something that almost gave me bad vibes when I even thought about it.
Yeah, it gave you something like PTSD. So did you have any particular bad experience, or was it just the lethargy of...
A lot. My work was great. I actually feel like I did a lot of good work, but I feel like I had a few couples, like brides and grooms, that were a little bit... I find with video compared to photos, for some reason, I've heard this not just from me, from other videographers, it seems like a very common thing that for some reason there's a lot that people usually will come back at and kind of complain about, and that's fair. It's their wedding video and I understand that. I think it's just there's more moving parts than photos, that there's more that they can pick up on and complain about. But I got to the point where I actually wasn't I was actually making my wedding videos cookie cutter. Like I gave them pretty much the exact same look and feel, everything. I wasn't trying to be creative. Like I wasn't when I say creative, I wasn't putting star wipes in but you know what I mean? Like I was putting less effort in by the end because I thought, well, why put in all this effort if I'm just going to get people coming back complaining? But yeah, I had quite a few things go wrong, including I had $20,000 worth of camera gear stolen from the back of my car.
Wow, that's no good.
Yeah, which was an absolute nightmare. I'd been shooting a thing for a local TAFE, and we got back. It was close to Christmas. It was like the last job I had to do before Christmas, and we got back to the TAFE, and I was going to run. We moved the gear. We'd been in a TAFE car. We moved the gear into my car, which was a Ford Territory, so it was very like a lot of windows and whatnot. And I ran up to quickly throw an SD card on a desk so I could the next day upload it, but it was pretty late. I came back down and the handle being ripped off the car, like just ripped off the car, and everything was gutted. Like they took everything, including I had my unicycle in there and they stole that.
Oh, no!
which was terrible. Your camera's frozen again, by the way. I don't know what's going on with the camera.
Matty.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
If you'd like, I could just do a quick little internet restart. It would probably be like a 2 or 3 minute turnaround.
Because part of me wonders if it's the internet. I might even shut down my not my OBS. I might shut down my Discord even and reopen that and see if that fixes it, and that might fix it. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's do a little reset, a little refresh, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, man. Yeah. Well, apologies, it was from my end.
No problem at all. Hey, this podcast isn't going anywhere, baby. So we'll make sure it's. We'll see if we can get it working. All right, we'll be back here in a few short minutes.
Yeah, see you then.
Feel free in the chat to say, hey, I'm ready. All right, he's gone. All right, so I'll shut down my shit because see, a quick little behind the scenes, by the way. This is what they see. The less beautiful fidelity of me, only because for some reason you can't split like a webcam source easily, and when I try to, my computer goes crazy. Big apologies to everyone in the chat. We haven't had like a camera freeze like that yet, so hopefully we can fix it. Hopefully we'll get it sorted. I feel bad for Dan. Hopefully he's not stressed too much. All right. Green hat, purple hat. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird how cameras can just absolutely see two different things. As a photographer myself, I have no idea still what the devil that's all about. Actually, no, I do know what that's about, but we won't dive into that. But yeah, Abigail, the unicycle, yeah, they took it, but I have more to say on that when Dan comes back. No, I'll tell you now. But I did get my unicycle back. I still have it to this day, and it's got a police sticker on it because I think the people that stole the unicycle and all my other gear, I think they thought, this probably looks a little bit obvious if we try and sell it. Like, how many people have a unicycle? So they threw it out the window in like the most sketchiest area, and then someone handed it into the police station, so I got it back. Yeah, true story. So kind of crazy stuff. All right, let me shut down Discord 100%. What is this? Discord. Quit that. Quit Discord. I'll reopen it. Maybe it's on my end. I hope it's just on my end and I can fix it. That'd be great. I mean, I don't really want DanPentz to have to be the guinea pig to sort out the tech issues, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, I'm still in the call apparently, even though I shut. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll see if we can get bloody Dan back on. Hopefully he's all good. Hey, what's up, Josh? How you doing, bro? Welcome in. Hopefully having a good day. Yeah, uni. That's exactly what I think. That's why I don't quickly rush to like, oh no, I need to fix this straight away when I see they freeze up, because I don't really want to interrupt the train of thought. Because I know that you guys can still hear the audio, which is great. Because it'd be worse, I think, if the audio cut out and the video was still playing, because that would be, yeah. Hope I edit this out. Probably won't. You know why? Because my upload's so slow, it's a lot easier to throw it up on YouTube from here, to clip it. So as long as I'm talking for a bit. Hello to all the audio listeners. This is a little intermission. I don't know. People kind of maybe sometimes like that. The little like, oh no, there's a fuck up drama on something. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of a drama, a little bit something went wrong. But that's all right. As long as I try and keep it engaging for the audio listeners. Hello out there, audio listeners. But thank you everyone that's listening into that. I know we're having some tech issues, so apologies on that. But I will make sure. I think that's the sort of thing. I won't let this go unanswered. This internet or PC issue, I will make sure I get to the bottom of it. Not only for me, but for Dan and you guys, because you guys deserve better. You guys, I do believe it. You guys deserve better. But I'll research it tonight and see if there's a reason for it. Because I did have the same thing. If anyone doesn't know, I was on Twitchy Coffee's podcast a while ago, and I keep talking about it. But I had the same issue on his, where my camera was freezing up on his end, but not on mine. And I thought maybe it's because his computer is a little bit, well, I think it's his words, not mine, but shit. So I just blamed it on his PC, but now it's happening to me. Maybe it's because I was just a dickhead and blamed it on his PC. Justice for the unicycle. I know, right? Because honestly, that unicycle was like $1,000. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like a street unicycle. It can take like drops up to like over 3 meters and shit. Like it's built very strong. It's a very thick unicycle, you know what I mean? So I was very happy to get that back, because really I thought there's no chance I'm gonna buy another $1,000 unicycle. Like I didn't really ride as much at that point. I was kind of like out of the unicycle scene, as funny as that sounds. So I thought, I'm probably not gonna ride. Like I would have never bought another one, I don't think. So it's good. I actually have it in my living room. I actually rode it recently, so I'm glad I have it. But it's crazy. It has like this barcode thing on it with a whole bunch of numbers, like a sticker on the stem of the unicycle, I guess you'd call it, maybe. Is that what you call it? I don't know. But it's like, because where it went into exhibits, and they had to register it all and try, I don't know. I think they dusted it for prints and stuff. I'm thinking, bro, my prints are going to be all over that thing. They'll probably just end up at my doorstep saying, did you steal your own unicycle? I don't know. But they never did find the people that stole my stuff, which was such a shame. And it wasn't registered. It wasn't insured for theft, which is such a shame. Such a shame. It was registered. It was insured for so many things other than that. All right, let's do it. Bam. Bam. All right.
Matty.
Ooh, you're back. Oh,
we're back.
Am I happy to see you. I was
Matty.
getting nervous.
So was I. I rebooted my computer and refreshed the internet. But when I booted back the computer back up, Discord wasn't opening. I'm like, oh my god,
no. All right, we got you back now. We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
hopefully that fixes it. If not,
fingers crossed.
If not, then maybe I'll shut my whole PC down after this and we'll try that. I don't know. My PC, It's a weird thing, right? Because it's funny how we kind of can gauge how hard something's working. Obviously, well, it makes sense by how loud it is.
Yeah, like the fan or...
Yeah, because my fan has gone a little bit haywire. I don't know if you can even hear it in the background. I've got to get new fans for my PC.
I just put my ear up to my microphone to see if I can hear it. I'm like, where is it?
Oh my God, I didn't even pick up on that. Yeah. What did you hear? Yeah. So yeah, I think. Okay. Can I tell you something? Okay, I haven't told anyone this. Please, everyone in the chat, go easy on me. Please go easy. I know everyone's gonna fucking hate on me for this. They're gonna call me an idiot. They're gonna say, Matt, what's wrong with you? You need help.
Fess up, Matty.
So I've had a PC for about 3 years, Dan. I've had a PC for about 3 years. 3 years? No, maybe. How? Okay, 2-3 years, give or take. Before that, I had a Mac, which I didn't change any parts in. It was just a stock. It was a Mac Pro, so it was like the tower. And I didn't really fuck with that, other than changing hard drives in it. So I got my new PC and I built it myself, going off like YouTube tutorials and shit.
Yep.
And I didn't have like a big brother to guide me, you know what I mean? It was just me. Little old me. I had no idea. And I kind of followed the tutorials of how to put it together. I researched all the parts myself, and I put it together. I set it and forget it. But it got to a point where it was looking a little bit dusty. And of course, me being the nooblet that I am when it comes to PCs, decided to chuck a vacuum in there, just vacuum the shit out of it, which later I found out was pretty much something that could fuck your whole PC up. So I was nervous about that because I think the static electricity it can cause can ruin components. But also, you're not apparently supposed to let the fan spin independently of their motors. And I was just like holding it up to it, and they were going like whirring the fuck out. I think I burnt the fuck out of them or something.
Yeah.
Since I did that, and everyone's like, Matt, like, did you let the fan spin while you were cleaning? I'm like, no. Thinking, shit, is that a problem? And I'm like googling it. I'm like, oh no. So
dude. Yeah. I stuffed one graphics card doing the same thing.
You stuffed a graphics card?
Yeah, back in the day, I had an Aldi computer. It was a hand-me-down Aldi computer from my mate's brother.
Okay, wait, hold up. Wait, when you say Aldi, do you mean the independent grocer kind of Aldi that, like the shop, like they sell apples next to the PCs?
Next to the chainsaws, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Aldi, not Audi, Aldi. Yeah, because they were like my mate. Okay, my mate's dad. Yeah. He's a tech wizard, but he's an old school kind of dude. And he's like, oh, I got these really sweet laptops. And he bought the boys like 2 laptops each.
How much do you reckon they were from Aldi?
Oh, I don't know. I think he's like...
They sell this shit pretty well, reasonably priced.
Yeah, I think it was more like, he bought some strawberries and got a free laptop with it. Like, it's very interesting.
It's some shit, yeah.
Yeah, he also bought like a tower computer, not just a laptop.
Yeah.
And my mate's brother, he was like, he was getting rid of it because I think this was like 2005 or 6. It's pretty old.
Okay.
And I got it as a hand-me-down. I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet. I'll be able to play sweet computer games on the internet. I'll be able to play RuneScape in HD or whatever.
Yeah, right. I'm curious, did it have parts that you knew the names of?
It was very weird. Like a lot of the stuff didn't match, and it was very like old school. But yeah, I was like, I replaced the graphics card with some, like I went on eBay and they, there was some like old, like dusty components from like the 1950s I had to buy.
Okay. Yeah.
And we plugged it in and it worked. We're like, oh, I might just give it a blowout, get rid of the dust. And I sped the graphics card fan and like I turned it on and it was like, started like screaming. It was like, it was like the bearing just got knackered.
So wait. So do you reckon? Wait, had you used it though before that when you first got it, or did you clean it beforehand?
So I used it for like a little while.
Oh, so okay. Because I was about to say, because maybe like you never know, they might have sold you a dodgy one. So it was definitely wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so PSA to all the people listening: don't use a vacuum cleaner or even just the cans of air. Like if you clean your fucking computer, don't let the fan spin because I guess
hold it with one finger.
Surely so many people have made that mistake. You just wouldn't think. Mate. You just wouldn't think about it. You wouldn't think it's an issue.
No, that's right. Like, because like I had I had no idea. Like, and a lot of people I'm sure would be in the same boat as me.
Yeah, you just wouldn't think about. Because it seems like even just a short amount of time of letting it spin just seems to fuck it. Because like I said, I only did it really that first time, I believe, and I probably was like going, "Vree," and the fans were like going hand and probably the opposite direction.
Yes,
but and it was just enough that since, and because I really do think since then that's why they've been making so much noise. But for so long, I thought that my PC was struggling or something. I thought that it was like maybe really overheating, and then I found where I could check the temps, and the temps are like at max, so they get to like 45 degrees, and it turns out that a CPU can get up to like 95 or something, which is
CPUs can boil.
I don't even get how that's possible. Like, I'm not a big computer guy. Like, I love my PC. It's a bit of a set it and forget it model. I built it, and now if I had to rebuild a PC, I'd probably have no clue what I'm doing.
You have to go back to YouTube and learn it all again.
Yeah, I'd have to relearn. But at the same time, it's I just don't understand how anything that basically does so much. Obviously, I get why it heats up, but I don't get how it doesn't just fucking explode. I know that's why you got the heat sink and everything, but 95 degrees for a piece of tech just sounds like it should be on fire at that point.
That's right. Well, that's like a boiling hot kettle. That's like where water turns to steam, and it's like your computer's a plastic box. Inside of it's like some circuitry and like a motherboard, and there's this like boiling hot lava rock in the middle.
Exactly. I just don't know how it works. It blows my fucking mind, dude. Has it? So you know what? That's something to look up. I reckon I'll have to look this up at some point. Of someone using a CPU with no heatsink, like no cooling, because that surely will explode at some point. That would just keep getting hot. Like running it at max settings, like just I'd love to see that. I'm gonna look that up after. That's something to look up because my natural curiosity of just my adolescent kind of wanting to see shit blow up kind of mindset is just.
I wonder how hot they would get before, like, because it would get so hot. I don't know if it would blow up, but it would definitely stop working.
Do you reckon it'd just like go boom and it all catch on fire? Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems so fucking. I
think your room would just catch on fire, just like
just
instantly
the whole room,
combust.
just the flames of hell would consume you. All right, enough about pieces. So how we got onto that from obviously tech issues and whatnot, but we'll talk about photography and whatnot, which I might come back to. But I want to talk to you about being swole. Because that is like the biggest, when someone looks at you, the first thing they're going to think is, I'm pretty sure this guy might have, or maybe some point in his life, maybe he works out. I don't know. I can't tell. It looks like he might be a little bit into exercise. Is that a fair assumption?
Look, I try and keep in shape. Yeah, I try and keep fit. Yeah.
So you're pretty deep in the world of fitness, right? Like I couldn't imagine you're not. I've seen that you do exercise streams as well, like workout streams.
We haven't done it for a little while, but definitely I am passionate about doing them for sure.
So where did the passion for, like, I'm always curious when someone starts working out. Obviously there's like a few different reasons why someone could work out. It could be like a vanity thing, it could be a health thing. Could be both of those things. And what's the other?
Do you want a long story or the short story?
Long story. Always long story on this podcast.
All right, always long story.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go back to 1990, where my mother and father loved each other in a very special way.
Ooh,
and
you got the scoop here.
Let's go forward 14 years. So
14, there was only 14 years, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was 14. I was 14 at the time when I started like doing stuff to get stronger and whatnot, because I always grew up with a bigger brother. Like, he was 7 years older than me. He actually still is 7 years older, funnily enough. But
wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Hard facts.
So
okay.
He was kind of like, we didn't have a dad or anything growing up, so he was like my father figure or role model. So I was hanging out with his friends and him, and so I was like 7 or 10, and they were like 15, 17, whatnot.
Okay.
And so I was like, I thought I was pretty tough. I thought I was a pretty tough kid, like growing up, like with an older brother. I'm like, I'm a lot younger, but I'm tough.
Quick question: was that like part of a program? Because like how they have like the Big Brother program stuff, or was that like where'd you come across? Like, how'd you get in with a scene that's so much older? Like, what was the community that?
So my brother is literally 7 years older, and I was just Asian.
Oh, it is your brother.
Yeah.
Biologically, because I thought you were saying that it was like maybe that how like they have those Big Brother programs.
Yeah. I do.
That. All right.
Reminds me of that movie, Role Models.
Such a good movie, dude. That's how I always imagine now. Since that movie, that's how I imagine those programs go. That it's just a couple of like sketchy dudes, that probably give weed to kids and shit. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always thought I was, pretty sort of tough kid. And
yeah.
Anyway, in 2004, this bloke. His name is Harry. I know his last name, but I won't say it.
No, that's fine.
Let's just say Harry Smith. No, too obvious. I mean, H. Smith.
It's like that. Is it that Simpsons joke where he's like, let's just say his name's Harry S. No, that's too obvious. Let's say it's H. Smith.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we had an arm wrestle, and he beat me. This prick Harry. I love him. He's a good guy, but he beat me in an arm wrestle.
I'm sorry. I keep interrupting your story, but can I quickly ask you about your stance on arm wrestles?
Yeah, of course. Ask away.
What's your vibe on them?
Oh, well, look, I did one recently, but that's the first one I've done for many years. I personally don't really dig them, but it's kind of like I almost do it. If I was to do it now, it'd be like kind of like playing a game of rock paper scissors, like just muck around. I don't take it seriously.
So this is my question to you: have you seen the videos of people's arms just fucking snapping mid arm wrestle?
I've seen one video. Yeah, it looks terrible.
Has that not turned you the fuck off? Like, I would never at this point in time, I would never arm wrestle ever again, because if anyone doesn't know, there's that like essential chance that during an arm wrestle, because you're putting so much positive force, I guess, against the other person's arm, and they're pushing against yours, it's like the bone, it seems, in somewhere in here just completely snaps, and the arm just clicks, like it just goes. Which
I don't know
would just
what
be
it is.
a nightmare. Like, sorry if anyone's queasy, but I can't even imagine. But
yeah, just imagine like you're holding up your arm and it's just like flopping in the opposite direction.
Well, the thing is, it happened on live TV in Australia. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay, on the Footy Show, probably a couple of years ago, I think it was two footballers, live television, no cuts, and gotta have my alerts still on. Thank you for the host, by the way. Thank you for the host. So live television, they get two football players to have an arm wrestle. And they're going hard out. They're like, ugh! And then all of a sudden, this big fucking unit, his arm just goes snap. You hear it like almost echo across the fucking studio.
Dude.
And these big fucking footballers are just like, like they're like lose. They're like, I can't handle it.
Really?
And it got broadcast on live television. This guy's arm just snapping mid arm wrestle.
That's the best and the worst thing ever.
Oh my, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, this is amazing, but this is horrific at the same time. Since that, and I'd seen already a couple of videos of people having that happen, and I'm like, I'm never letting anyone. The people are lucky if I shake their hand at this point. Like we are fragile as fuck. But yeah, so,
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we are pretty fragile in our meat suits. I mean,
exactly. I mean, it's
in the movies, like you see people fall out of cars and they jump up and they're fine. But like at work, if I like bump my leg into something, like I'm like, oh my god.
Okay, because this is something I always find crazy. Like people like Jackass, and they seem to do these ridiculous stunts that you just. But like you'll hear about someone stepping off a curb, bumping their head, and dying in their sleep, and it's like, how the fuck like? It seems like sometimes the most simple things are what fucks us up. You know what I mean? It's like the when you least expect it, which is terrifying. Because even you'll watch like Fail Arm, you're saying on YouTube, and people would be doing the most mundane things, but then I always kind of go, why are you filming this mundane thing? That's always my first question. But they'd be doing like a mundane thing, and then bam, they're like getting dragged down the road by a car. You know what I mean? And it's like, holy shit.
I think that kind of like almost like is relevant to what we touched on earlier about rising to the occasion. Like if you know you're doing something extreme or nuts, you're ready for it. You know, so you kind of expect it, but it's a surprise stuff. Like, you know, kicking a bucket of water and then headbutting a bathtub. You know, like you don't expect it. Yeah, you know what?
That's like 100%. Like you've hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what it is. It's because we're unprepared for the time. Like your body is completely in its most like relaxed form. And yeah, I've never thought of it that way. It's so obvious now. 100%. Yeah,
especially
when you're doing
like that, you know, those parkour videos of people like jumping off building rooftop.
Oh my god, surely someone's died from that, right?
Yeah, I've seen a video on YouTube a little while ago. Like this guy was doing it and he like slipped and just fell. And like it was really bad.
But he couldn't have died because I believe they have like a clause in their contract of YouTube, which whatever that probably holds water in, but where you can't post anything on YouTube where someone has died from it. So surely he survived or whatnot. But I mean, there's got to be so many videos out there. I mean, in the world that we live in today, where everything is filmed, especially when you're doing something crazy, surely it ends up that there's got to be so much stuff like that where someone's for, because you see people climbing buildings, you see those guys that walk along the edges of buildings, and
yeah,
you're
and
like,
they just hang as well. I can do like hang with one hand as well.
And it's like, what is wrong with you? Why would you? I don't. What's your stance on that? Like, do you think that's like too? Do you think? I know we're getting like off topic as fuck, but I'm so curious about your stance on this, because you're like, hit it head on and all this, but. Do you think that's too far? Do you think that's like at the point where people are doing these things on the internet to obviously get attention? Look, they're probably chasing that adrenaline rush as well, but I'm sure there is a lot of it that if there was no chance of it being filmed, they wouldn't bother doing it. Do you think it's just too far? Do you think it's at the point where people are craving that attention so much that it's borderline dangerous? Because
I guess it depends.
So much has been done already.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on like why they're doing it. Like, I know some people have like YouTube channels where that's what they do for a job. Like they make a living from the views.
Yeah.
So like whether they're adrenaline junkies, like, because then I guess you can compare it to like free climbing, like rock climbing.
Yeah.
Because like people free climb like 500 meters vertically, and like they don't have any safety gear, so if they slip, they would die.
It's just that's it, the one chance. Like, I mean, what goes through someone's head like that, where they know that any minute they must be so confident in their abilities. You'd have to. You have to be.
Yeah, I know. Like my case is not the same as theirs, but because I'm a Sparky for a job.
Okay.
And like up on roofs and climbing ladders, and I've been in a few like really hairy situations, but I just clench my ass cheeks and hang on and don't let go. But like you have to. Yeah. You have to just like, I find like you have to just like tackle things really confidently. If you because as soon as if you're confident, you'll perform. But if you start to like self-doubt and get a bit wobbly, mate,
it just throws you off your game. That is so true. It's funny as well. It's like saying the world of skateboarding or BMX or unicycling, anything extreme like that. It's funny how the people that say commit to a trick, say they'll board slide a fucking 20-stair handrail or some shit like that, or kickflip a 20-stair. A lot of the time when they just go for it and they put their feet, they 100% commit, they land it. But it's the people that bail halfway through, they fucking wreck themselves. And I've had it happen to me plenty of times, like in unicycling, and trying to go for big stuff, and you lose that confidence halfway through, and you go, fuck, I'd rather bail off this and just see how it goes, instead of just trying to commit. And it's funny, a lot of time when you just commit, you land it and you're fine, or you don't get as hurt as you think you would. But as soon as you bail, you end up in hospital. You know what I mean?
Bloody earth.
It's crazy.
It's very interesting because I'm a big thinker in that department, like the actual the mental training that goes into something, not just the physical. Because like to be confident and to tackle things confidently, regarding if it's like a lift at the gym, regarding if it's a kickflip down Mount Everest, regarding if it's unicycling on your hand, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like the mental, like the why behind or the mental mentality behind it, that training, like I think that's just as important, because you need that to then execute the physical.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's subconscious. Like, you might know like you have to be confident, but I think to train your mental strength or train your confidence would be is a massive deal in the process.
It's like, I always wonder like how much stuff is locked in our brains that we haven't essentially unlocked. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about like unlocking like that confidence essentially to feel like it's like, do you think it's something that you have to teach yourself? Do you think some people are born with it? Do you think everyone can learn to essentially have that confidence, or do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, yeah. I think you have to learn it. I think it's kind of one of those things. Like, as you get older, you learn more and you see the world in different ways. Like your perspective changes.
Yeah.
So with more experience in a field or a hobby, your perspective changes the more experience you have, and you can start sort of working on deeper things or other things. So I think you definitely train your confidence. I think it's just a matter of where you are in that specific sort of hobby or sport.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because you think in a way like confidence almost transitions over to other things. I mean, what you're confident in now, if you went to other things that you're trying for the first time, I mean, in a way, like if you were to then try and rock climb a wall without a harness, I guess you wouldn't have that. It's like almost like a case-by-case basis of what you're doing. It's kind of a weird thing. You can have so much confidence in one thing within yourself, but then in a way, you do have to learn it, because then you have to...
I have the answer. I have the answer.
All right, good. We've unlocked the secrets.
So it's like it's trusting. A lot of it's self-trust. It's trusting yourself that you'll do the right thing when the shit hits the fan. Like when you're driving a car, you're not driving just constantly worried like, oh shit, what if something? Oh shit, what if the car? But you need to trust your ability for when something does go pear-shaped that you will react appropriately. Yeah. So a lot of that, like, I think you need that self-trust, that self-confidence. Like, I'm 100% a confident driver, like, and I know that when something goes pear-shaped, I'll react appropriately. Yeah. I won't just go blank and then just like stomp on the gas and rear-end someone. Yeah, so I've got that self-confidence, I guess, probably from experience and just like driving for, I've had my license for 10, 11 years because I was 18 when I got my Ps and now I'm 28, nearly 29. Yeah. So I guess that comes from the experience of driving and just being in maybe some near misses or some prickly situations. Yeah, well, that's it. I was talking to Tay, actually, my wife, about it, because you see so many P-platers just reckless as fuck on the road. No shade to all the P-platers out there, but you do see like a lot of, and for anyone that's international, P-plates essentially are your provisional license so you start on your learners and you have to drive with someone next to you, like that's got their full license to teach you. Then you have to do a test to get your provisional, and that allows you to drive on your own. But of course, that's a lot of people's first foray into driving on their own. It is, but so they're reckless as fuck. And the thing I was saying to Tay is, it's because they probably haven't had enough scares. They haven't had enough people beeping at them, swearing at them. They haven't had enough moments where they almost ran into someone, but they didn't, and they go, "Oh, I need to really step up my game, 'cause the next one I could die." It's like, because at my point, I'm in the same boat as you. I've been driving since I was probably 17 maybe ish, almost 32 now, and I feel like I'm cautious as fuck, but I'm confident because I feel like I don't have anything to prove. You know what I mean? But you wonder why these younger drivers. It's like they've got so much confidence, but it's weird confidence in a way though. Can we dial back on that? Because we're talking about confidence, but then confidence can be a fucking issue. Like that, if we put it into the boat of driving, overconfidence. Like then is there a point where overconfidence can be then something that will fuck you up more? You know, when someone's too confident, and then definitely. I think if someone's like too confident, or they're confident without ability, they're just like they're delusional, whether they're aware of it or not. But it's like it's delusion. Like if they think they can pull off, it'd be like kind of like me riding a unicycle and being like, "Hey Matty, I'm gonna do a triple backflip off this half pipe, mate. Check it out."
You would be the best in the world, by the way.
But like with I've had 2 months experience, and I'm done for these crazy things. Yeah. Even though I'm like confident, it'll be very delusional.
It's like how do we set apart confidence from delusion at that point? You know what I mean? Like how do we as people know when we're delusional or when we're confident? Because
dude, this reminds me of like year 12. Because in year 12, like one of like the essay topics was. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Like, what is it?
It's like 100%. And it's like a lot of people won't know. It's like the cat in the tree thing. It's like a kid draws a cat in the tree and they think it's amazing, but then someone goes, "What's that?" It's like they might think it's perfect, their art's perfect, but everyone around them sees it's not. But it's funny how our brains can be like, "No, everything's fine. This is how it should be." And it's like, it's weird. It is weird how our brain fucking thinks that it's on point for certain things because we're all different. But yeah, that fine line of delusion versus confidence is terrifying, because what if someone then goes, "I could do that. I could climb this bloody cliff face with no harness," and then they're dead. Yeah. It's like,
they die.
It's like, what stops us for, like, how do we know?
Probably like the self-preservation instinct kicks in, like we don't want to die.
Yeah, like that fear thing kicks in, isn't it? Like
like sort of Darwin's survival of the fittest. Like you see people doing crazy, stupid things.
What do you think the world would be like if someone found a way to eradicate fear from the world? What do you think would happen?
I don't know. If no one was, it'd be a mess. Yeah, like so if like, because like fear is very important, because we know if there's like a big ass dinosaur that's some sort of like sexual predator dinosaur trying to chase us, we had to run, we don't want to get attacked by the sexual predator dinosaur.
Yeah, even without fear, I think people would still be like, something's up here, I should probably run.
Break
it away from this.
This is not going to end well for me. He's 40 foot tall, and he's endowed quite well, but
he's like double the size of me. I'm like, how's that going to fit?
Right. So you decide to run,
yeah,
correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's like, what is it, I don't know what Darwin's survival of the fittest.
Like Darwinism, yeah. Because that's it. It's like people say natural selection and whatnot. Where
natural selection, that's the one.
Natural selection, where people do stupid things and they end up dying, and people get and as sad as it, people go, well, natural selection, they chose to do. It's like the universe kind of, the smart will survive, the stupid will perish. But then it's like with the internet and everyone trying to outdo each other. Does it kind of are people's mindsets on stuff like that, is it getting skewed because all they care about, and we're seeing it over and over again. I mean, the internet, I feel like so much has already been done, right? And everyone has to agree. And as years go on, how the fuck do we think of new things to do? It's like everyone's building upon what has already been done, but it gets to an unsafe degree. So what happens in 10 years' time? Does the internet just implode on itself and everyone goes back to looking at pandas sneezing? Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Like,
there might be a cycle to it. There could be, but I think also there's every human is 100% different. Like, like we'll have different ideas and different reactions and situations, different personality. Like, that's why like everyone, everyone's creativity being different is really good, because there's new products, there's new, everything.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I guess, like the same with like songs. Like how many songs in the world is there? But there's new songs every day. Because
that shit trips. That is an excellent point on that, because I always think, how the fuck is anyone ever making new music? It's mind blowing. It's because there are we'd say I'm guaranteed millions of songs, but it's like, how the fuck does someone make a new song without stomping on someone? And there's been, I think, occurrences where someone will release a song, and then another band or artist will go, hey, that's our song. And I'm sure there's been a genuine, like, I was unaware. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's like, as the days, months, years go by, I always think about that in the world of entertainment, in the world of, even the internet culture, in the world of music, in the world of games. We're even seeing it already. We're seeing that movies are being recycled. I mean, they're fucking doing like Aladdin and the Lion King in just a different form. They're even, I saw, and I don't get this. I don't know if you're a Pokemon fan. Either way, it doesn't matter. But Pokemon, the first movie, big hit back in the day. Did you ever see it?
I think I saw like bits of it, but I remember as a kid we only had ABC and the channel ABC, so I could never, for such a long time, I could. No. That's all we had. I don't know. We had like an old TV, and like I used to watch Monkey Madness. Do you know that show, Monkey?
I don't remember Monkey Madness, but at the same time, there was some banger shows on ABC. Like I don't want to stray too far too quick, but
I know, right?
But the other day, myself and Tay, we sat down on YouTube and we started YouTube, like searching up a bunch of old shows. Do you remember Liftoff? Do you remember the show Liftoff back in the day? And there was like a creepy puppet with no face, and there was like, it was all very puppets, and it got cancelled after I think 2 seasons. But man, it's like stuff like that. And there was like a after school game show called Amazing. Do you remember that?
Dude, I don't remember. No, I don't remember those.
Man, and they play one of the challenges was they had to play yes, Viva knows Liftoff, hell yeah, dude. But one of the challenges on Amazing, they had to play the Super Nintendo. They were playing like Donkey Kong and shit. It's the biggest throwback, dude. Biggest throwback. If you ever, that's the amazing part of the internet. If you ever can think of a show that you used to watch as a kid, try and YouTube it, and there's a good chance there'll be at least clips of it there, and it's the biggest nostalgia trip.
For sure. Like I remember I watched like a compilation and it had like Johnson Friends, Alfred the Hot Water Bottle.
That's one of them as well. And they've got episodes of that, unless they pulled them down on YouTube, with the elephant and the diesel, the truck.
And the robot as well.
The robot, the accordion.
Throwback City. Are real monsters? The guy that holds his eyeball?
Grum. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
And Icarus was the little red guy.
And then they had the candy cane, the umbrella stick chick. It's funny. Oh God, we're getting so far off topic, but...
we can bring it back. We can bring it back if you like.
Okay, quickly. I just want to say, I really think that... Oh God, it might be that I'm an old dinosaur now, But kid shows are not what they used to be. They're not as good as they used to be. I'm calling it out here. Pick up your game, everyone. Kid shows need to have a revival. Even down to anime being not as hand-drawn as it used to be kills me. I love the old hand-drawn stuff. The craft, the attention to details that old shows used to have were incredible. And now it's all like, they're just so rushed out. The stories are weak. The animation is shit. The everything. The characters are underdeveloped. It makes me so mad. So mad. And I don't know if I'm like what my parents were when they're like, look at what you're watching now. What is this shit? What is this shit, Matt? Okay, my parents weren't that bad, so it makes them sound like angry, abusive bogans. But you know what I mean? See, like back in our day, we used to play Pong, and that was the shit. And it's like, yeah, but I can.
What happened to games?
But I can get like a 21 kill streak on Call of Duty. So what do you mean? Like, and it's funny. Is it just because I'm old? Like, I feel like people in the chat are agreeing with me. Chang. Oh, Chang's like, welcome back, Chang. By the way, he said I loved Amazing. Yeah, 100%, dude. Like these old shows, man. It's like I feel like they're just. The new shit doesn't hold up. And quickly bringing it back though to things being recycled. I mean, they're constantly releasing Pokemon as well. The first movie, which is a big hit and a big classic back in the day, they're now re-releasing the exact same movie. They're bringing it out as if it's new, but they're doing it in CGI, and it's not even CGI. People are deeming it like it's some cheap Chinese knockoff CGI that you see in like a bootleg game or something. It's like no hate towards Chinese. I love your work, but I'm just saying it's got that kind of knockoff. Just like a cheap
feel.
Yeah, like it's very. And I'm like, why? Why are you re-releasing the exact same movie, almost from what I can gather, scene for scene, line for line, but in CGI? And they put. I think IGN put the trailers side by side and essentially put clips side by side. Whoa, and you're looking at the old like. Almost probably 15, 20 year. I don't know how old the first movie is, but the animation, the hand-drawn animation and the color palette was so just, I don't know if it's nostalgic. It's art. It is absolute art. Like you can't deny it. But now this new one, everything just looks so wrong and wonky. I encourage everyone to look it up if you haven't and just be like, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't a April Fool's joke because I saw it like a week ago before April Fool's.
It's interesting because like they'd have like that's one of the biggest cartoons in the world. They have a huge budget, but yet they're like, sort of like doing a cheap sounding
exactly.
method.
But it seems like that's what they think people want. But that's the thing. People. So bringing it full circle or back to what we're talking about. It's like, do you think that people are running out of ideas? Do you think that people are going to push themselves to harder and harder? I guess more so internet culture. To do more stupid things, get like, do you think, because as well, I think the thumb of the internet is being pushed down harder and harder to oppress people from being able to do crazier shit because of demonetization on YouTube and whatnot, and because of rules and whatnot and all that stuff. But we're seeing time and time again that stuff's starting to get recycled, but trying to be done differently, like movies and whatnot. Games are being redone. Final Fantasy VII, they're talking about just remaking that. It's like, well, why can't you just make a new Final Fantasy? It's stuff like that. It's like, are we going to get to a point? Like, I'm not talking about tomorrow, but are we going to get to a point where we just run out of ideas? Like,
I don't think so.
You really don't think so?
No, I don't reckon.
You don't reckon it's already kind of happening? Because, you don't feel like a lot of stories are, in a way, recycled stories of other stories and.
Well, I think there's only so much you can do, like as far as stories, like like there's only so many movie plots you can have, like good guys invade bad guys, like a girl gets kidnapped, guy avenges girl, like there's probably only so many like major plot lines you can have in general. Yeah. So things definitely do get recycled, but I guess with different perspectives, different technology, and different takes. It's I kind of like it reinvents it a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess. And I think.
Oh no! Sorry. No. You're right. Sorry, I want to hear what you.
Oh, I was just So things get like sort of just redone, I guess. But whether things will run out, I don't think they'll stop doing things. I think there'll just be new technologies and new methods and new sort of ideas about things. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess. Time will tell, huh? I really hope so, because I always kind of worry that there's like a limited, like there is an expiration date where almost a new medium of entertainment needs to release, because I feel like these are almost primitive mediums that we're watching right now, and they're going to run out. In my mind, I just think, how can we keep releasing music? How can we keep releasing movies? And I'm just seeing it over and over. The stories just seem to be all very similar. They're just giving their own spin on it. And I totally agree. There's only so many stories you can tell, but is that a thing that once they're redone, like, are people going to get bored? You know what I mean? It's like, I wonder if the medium of television and movies, because let's be real, they haven't been around that long. I mean,
mate, no way.
Television came out in the 1950s. And I know we're moving over to more internet entertainment, you know, like more realism entertainment or relatable entertainment, which is kind of maybe people say it's a TV killer. And I don't know how long movies have been out. I don't know when like the first movies were, you know, even Charlie Chaplin and all that.
I feel like there was like early 1900s there was movies. So there's some old Tarzan movies from early 1900s.
And that's what I'm saying. How far have we come?
Well, that's right, because it's only like I'd say it's 110 years.
Yeah,
like that's like one and a half person's life.
Yeah,
right? Like So we are in like an infantile technology stage, and like I think with technology there's exponential growth. Like because if you look like from now, like 10 years ago, like that was like just before smartphones.
Yeah.
And like the jump in the past 10 years in tech and like just everything is just, that's right. It's exponential. So it doubles and then doubles the double and doubles the double, you know? So I think, I think like regarding like sort of like television and radio, that's probably not going to be the same as what it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be totally different.
Like I always think surely it has to go into the realm to keep it relevant and whatnot. Obviously they tried 3D in movies and shit. What was your take on 3D? I hated it. I thought it was terrible. Like you had to put the glasses on at the cinemas and it always... Because for me, I felt like the effect wore off after like 10 minutes. You'd be like, wow, like trying to grab shit. Or just feel like things are popping out. But then after about 10 minutes, you felt like essentially it just kind of looked flat anyway. It's like your eyes adjusted. So essentially you're not seeing that much 3D. People, they're not pushing 3D anymore.
No, that's funny. They're not. You're right. I remember there was a big push like, I don't know, 5 or 7 years ago, but I don't really hear the term 3D anymore.
I mean, TVs were being sold. Like the TV we have in the living room now, it was sold as a 3D TV.
Yes, so was mine.
And we didn't buy it because of that. It was just every TV. But it came... Did yours come with like the glasses? It came with actual 3D... Because ours came with like, I think like 4 pairs of 3D glasses. So you have all your mates around, you'll sit there and be like, whoa! Like taken away. And we watched maybe like 1 or 2 movies in 3D for the novelty. And we're like, okay, cool, that was fun. But it gets to a point where you're just like, I'd rather just watch it how it is. So it's like they've tried that. But that's where VR comes in. It's like I really feel like it's at a point where VR, even though it hasn't taken off, it's almost like we need that to be more streamlined to become a medium where you almost... Surely it's going to get to a point where movies become slightly more... People don't... Because I know people don't want interactive experience. People want to sit there like a slob, me included, and watch a movie. But there has to be that point where we get... I think... Here's my take. It's going to get to a point where it's more immersive. They have to make it more immersive over time to then pick up from... Then they can start telling stories all over again because you're more drawn into it in a different way. But for me, I'm just thinking, where's it going to go? No one knows, but I just think, man, it's got to run out at some point unless they think of new ways to showcase entertainment. Because, like I said, it's only been like 100 or so years that we've been watching movies and TV, and people are recycling shit like crazy.
Yeah, sure.
In 100 years. So 200 years. 200 years. Another 100 years. How?
It'd be crazy. It'd be ridiculous. So I got 2 points to make.
Yeah, I want points.
Just a quick little so in 2009, my best friend Brian, shout out to Brian, I love him, he's my brother. But he was doing uni. He's doing like a degree in IT or Bachelor of IT, and and he did a study in 2009, and the study was by 2012, more people will be using the internet on their smartphones than at their home computer. And in 2009, I'm like, if you're lucky, mate, bloody, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But who sits down at home to be like, oh, let's just sit down at home and watch the YouTube on the computer,
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm watching it with Tay, we watch YouTube on at least a TV, but really most of my consumption, I mean, I'm a big PC guy, but yeah, so much of my consumption is phones, but it's always blows my mind. I hear so many people say, I don't have a PC. Homes don't own PCs because they think, I don't need a PC. They might own a laptop, or a lot of people own like tablets and shit.
Yeah.
But like their phone, they're like, oh, I don't need one. I got a PC in my pocket. And it really is like going that way in ways for a lot of like a more consumer market that doesn't rely on like gaming or PCs for work. Which is a lot of people like that. When they're at home, they don't have their own personal PC for work. They don't work from home. They don't need it. It's wild. And exactly, your friend was on the money. So it's like,
back in 2009, it was like, I was definitely not the only one that would have thought, as if in 3 years we'll be using the smartphones, as if, you know, like it was just like you had your home computer, you know, that's where you downloaded Prison Break on LimeWire. Like,
shit, we got him, boys. Move on in. We got him.
Yeah, that's great. That's FBI, right. The Trojans in the building. Yeah. But and the second point was you were talking about VR. So I think VR is absolutely the next sort of like VR and AR will be the next big things. Yeah. Because like, you know, VR with a HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift has been around for a long time. But the Vive is sort of like, you know, was the newer shiny sort of, you know, development. Yeah. And now they're bringing out a Vive that doesn't have wires. Like it's, you know, got a battery pack instead.
Oh, is that what it is? Wait, so who owns Vive?
HTC,
because I know as well Valve. Valve is bringing out their own there was like a teaser photograph or something that was released very recently, like a week ago, showing like kind of a half shadowed, I believe, VR headset. It looked a lot smaller than all the VR headsets we've seen so far. It needs to go that way. We need to be seeing more streamlined units and more affordable. They need to be getting units in homes.
Yeah, definitely. And it will, like that's the whole idea with like, you know, production and, you know, with lots of people purchasing, that'll bring down the costs because they'll be making, you know, 1 billion units.
Yeah.
But regarding the AR, like so augmented reality, like
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, what I think will happen with no, you know, I don't really have any education in the field. Fine. I haven't done any research, but like, say you're wearing glasses right now.
Yeah.
Like you'll an integration could be you're walking down the street and you're looking at a cafe. Above the cafe, because you've got augmented reality goggles on, it'll have like the menu log reviews, so you'll be able to tell that this cafe is 4.5 out of 5 without you having to go to your phone and look it up.
Yeah.
So it'll have like, you know, Wi-Fi hotspot here, or in the future there's probably not going to be Wi-Fi hotspots, but you know, like, and it'll tell you reviews. It'll have like, you know, instead of looking at your phone for a GPS, it might have arrows where it points you just through your glasses.
Yeah, 100%. I'll guarantee that's what they're working on. I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like there's some fucking dangers to that. Not to put a bad spin on it. I think the technology will be insane and it'll be amazing to have. I mean, they tried to fuck with. I think Google tried to fuck with that a little bit though. They had the Google Glass, and man, could they make that look any worse? Like some weird wiry glassy. It's the instant. Like if you wear that at your house, someone's just gonna be like, okay, mate, settle down. It's like flexing with your Google Glass, and you don't even look like slick in it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's what the future looks like in the 80s. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it needs some work. It needs some refining.
Absolutely, man.
But the dangers are the thing. I'm not concerned about it, but I know a lot of people. It will cause a lot of conversation and a lot of issues for the fact that AR will 100% need to have some form of camera built into it, because there's no way it can know where you are or what you're doing without some form of. It needs to have some sort of eye that can see what you're looking at.
It would have to have something, because like GPS would follow you like your left and right, but not your up and down. Like that's what your eye tracking.
Yeah, but also exactly, and it'd have to be able to see what you're looking at. Say if you're looking at a menu board and it tells you like the prices and whatnot, blah blah blah, all this stuff. It has to have that. I don't think it could do it without a camera at that point. Sensors, and whatnot, but a lot. It's crazy what cameras can read. Like even today now, you know, even the fact you can point a QR code at something, like a camera at a QR code, and it can bring all that. That's like
that still blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy, but it's essentially this camera is looking at it. You can. I'm pretty sure there's apps where you can. I'm pretty sure there's apps. I could be completely wrong on this, but I swear there's apps where you can point at like a flower, and it will be like, this flower's this, and it's like,
there probably is, man.
So it's like looking at it and analyzing, but that means that it's always on. like in a way. Like that means when you're walking down the street, it's always analyzing, always watching. And people are going to, there's going to be a real like turning point where people start to have, there's going to be two sides of the coin. There's going to be two groups of people one that just embraces the new tech and our tech overlords and the fact that we're probably going to run ourselves into the ground with it. But then there's the other side of the coin and the other people where they're going to be like, keep this away from us. We don't want this because of our privacy, because people are already very antsy about their privacy in this new tech world. I've seen it with the drone community. I worked for a drone company for close to a year, and that opened my eyes to obviously a lot of middle-aged and older people, a generation probably above us, that's terrified of it. They're fucking terrified. And with like Amazon and whatnot trying to fly coffees to people now with drones across their homes, there's been news stories where I've seen people like with the Amazon delivery stuff, and people are furious about it because they're like, no, we don't want these drones flying over our homes. One, because they make noise, but two, because they've got cameras on them and they don't want them seeing what they're doing. But it comes down to that point. When I was working for this drone company, I constantly had people coming out and abusing us. Because essentially what we do, we'd take photographs from aerial perspectives for real estate.
Yeah.
So we take from all different angles. We get, and it'd also be so that people could see the lay of the land and whatnot.
The
top down and but we would constantly, almost once a day, have an angry person, man, woman, or child almost, coming out their house and abuse us, but not even asking like what's going on. They track us down. We're there in fluoros with a sign saying aerial photography in process, but they wouldn't care about that. They'd be like acting as if we're hiding in bushes with our controls, going, "What's going on?" You know. Oh, Dash, you bloody legend! Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate you. I usually don't call people out, but that means a lot. Good to see you back, man.
I just imagine when you're like man, woman, or child. I just imagine this like kid coming out, but like wearing his dad's clothes. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I know.
Going off.
See, that's the thing. But that's the thing. Okay, so I say child, but I've never had a child come out. Yeah,
I
know. 100%. You're saying it, but actually, it's the funny thing because our generation does embrace it. They see a drone and they love it. So it would be weird as shit to see like a younger generation person come out and complain about because they're accustomed to it. But the older generation, they're suspicious on a lot of things that are new. They put their tinfoil hats on, and fair enough. I put my tinfoil hat on for a lot of things as well. But they would come out and they'd be like, "What are you using this for? You're spying in my house." And they'd be adamant that we're looking in their house and that we're using everything that we've got going on as like a what's the word? Like a
cover?
Disguise, a cover, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, two things about it, though. What are they trying to hide? Like, that's the big... Like, why are you so worried? But as well, why would you think we'd want to look in your house? Like, what do you think we've got to gain from that? It's very odd mindset and a weird way of thinking.
I think it's just like the invasion of privacy. Like, it's just like the overall thing. I think that's probably the way it's... Like, I think... because people don't like change, they can beat that drum that can be used in so many situations. Like, people are afraid of change. They don't like change. But I think it's definitely because, with like your phone, like your microphone's listening with your home. Like
which I talked
Google
about
Home,
the other day. Yeah.
Your microphone's listening. I think it's just going to be part of the future. They'll have camera integration more. Like people will just be more connected, I think.
But are we suckers for just allowing it? Do you reckon, or are we? Are you worried about it, or are you just like, let it happen? Because should we be looking into it more in a way? Should we be like questioning it more? Because I mean, when does the line get drawn of how much people can listen to it and hear what we're saying and not know what people are recording of us when we don't know? I mean,
for sure.
Because
I guess.
Oh no, you go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, because you used to, like, how much is too much, and I'm not sure how much is too much, but I think there have to definitely be like, rules and laws and whatnot in place.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time we have to embrace like the change to like whatever it might be, because the older generation won't like it. But it was probably the same when like smartphones came out. People were like, oh, back in the day before smartphones, things were simpler, or like before like computers, things was like back before the computers. And like the internet, you had to use your typewriter, and you had to use like other methods, So I think long term it'll be progress, but just the adaptation and phase might be, it'll be tricky, sure, for some, but I'm not exactly sure, how to, please. You won't be able to please everyone with it, but I'm hoping that things, go in the right way.
Yeah, I just think it's a potential sacrifice of privacy down the track. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. And it'll be very interesting because we already know that essentially companies do spy on what we do. I mean, ads come up based on if we walked into a shop. Like, that's all it takes. You can walk into a Target, come out, and then it'll be targeted for no pun intended, targeted for ads for the next month. It's definitely. And you kind of go, all right, well, fuck. Like, what point do we take back our privacy? It's because these companies, not to tinfoil hat it too much, but these companies, they are pushing it little by little, like just that little bit of every day. Just like, how much can we get out of these people without them complaining or knowing? And they're sneaking in without us fucking realizing. And that's the thing. With people wearing AR, getting back to AR, with people wearing like glasses everywhere, we're not going to know who the fuck's filming us at any point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely know what you mean. I think people have the power now to film with like their phones, and if they want, they could conceal it. Like, like you can conceal your phone and film if you wanted to. It's far less streamlined as having some sick Tom Cruise spy glasses. I guess the same issue could be now, but not everyone's doing it, and it's it's very frowned upon, upskirting people's faces.
100%.
Not like checking up people's pants or undies or anything. No, but just the terminology of upskirting.
No, well, I mean, that was a big issue for a while there as well. People were doing that, and it's like, holy shit. I mean, with technology has brought a lot of questions to the table and a lot of different situations to the table. But yeah, I mean, we'll move on from it, but to wrap that part up, it's going to be interesting to see where the fuck. I mean, we've got a lot more life to live, me and you, Dan, and and we're going to see a lot more, as a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people listening will see a lot more in the coming years. And it's like, well, let's fucking see. Let's use this as a time capsule to see how our conspiracies come to light. So
yeah, that's right. Let's do it.
So how we got into this from talking about fitness.
Mate, I don't know how we got on this. Drones and privacy and spy cameras. I have no idea.
I love it though, dude. I can't help myself. It's interesting. It's always, I don't know, bro. I love hearing people's take on it. I don't know if you think that often on it, but man, it's interesting to see because some people don't necessarily have as much like input on it, and they might not be, it's interesting. Some people go hard in. They're like, oh fuck yeah, I agree, man. Everyone's watching. So I don't know. It's always really interesting to see where it goes with stuff like that. I'm never opposed to letting the conversation go wherever. You know what I mean?
It's awesome, man. You're a great conversationalist, Matty. You're doing a great job, mate.
I think I said I know. I meant more. Sometimes
I know. I am pretty good. I know.
Sometimes maybe to a fault of my own, because I think you were talking about you'll come up in fitness when you were 14.
Yeah, that was like an hour ago, I think. Like, we're solving like privacy conspiracies now.
And we went on to TV shows. We went on to movies and how they did.
Oh yeah.
I am so sorry, everyone, and to my guest Dan. I will be better. It was
it's great, man. It was
too interesting, dude. I could fucking not just keep asking questions. That's my problem. I ask too many questions, which I think is never a bad thing. But when you don't finish the thing you were talking about initially, I've told myself what I need to start doing is when a point gets brought up while you're telling a story or a guest tells, I need to write it down so I can go back to that. But my brain instantly just goes, holy fuck, I'm curious. What is this about? You know what I mean? So I'm going to learn. I'm going to use this as a continuation of my learning experience. Continue, good sir. You'll come up. You were hanging out with your brother who was 7 years older.
7 years older. But going back a couple points just then, what you said, like, I think, like you said, like, you really need to write down the point, and like, I think like part of that could be, the Matty flavor. Like, you don't want to take the originality away. Definitely, like, because you'll learn as you go to what's a good level. But it's good. Like, it's good conversation.
Do you reckon it's a chance that it can turn people away? Because I'm curious about that. I've never asked someone. I mean, in the week and a half, the long week and a half that I've been doing it, but I haven't asked people like whether the conversation being completely. It could just. Sometimes I think after the podcast finished, I'll go, "Wow, we never got back to that topic we started talking about." Which, hey, I'm never opposed to having guests come back on, and then I can go, "Hey, we never ended up finished talking about this." You know what I mean? So the thing is, you think in a way, like there's that fine line, isn't it? It's like there's that point where you get so far off track but I think surely it adds a little bit of interest. I think keeping it moving surely keeps it interesting to some degree, right?
Absolutely, Matty. So what I think is that could be the Matty flavor. Like I haven't watched a bunch of your streams or whatever,
that's fine.
I think it's great. Like it's entertaining. You talk about different stuff, and you might say something about like a certain topic that someone like maybe they've been thinking about it, or maybe it just like sparks a little interest. It's not necessarily like a linear dot point conversation we're having, but that's brilliant. I think it makes entertaining.
I'm glad that's
seriously,
the
Matty,
take on it.
Yeah, that's it. You got to however that could just be your personality, and that's what will make your podcast individual and unique. That will be the Matty niche, because you're being yourself, and whichever way it goes, man. Just
I'm glad because
don't stress about it, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that it can be essentially that I can just come in and just essentially be myself, and it still is taken in a way that people go, wow, that's just a hot mess. You know what I mean? I'm glad that people are perceiving it in a way that's just a good conversation. So good. I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback, dude, because it's good to hear. Obviously, I know you speak well. Is that a thing? Like, you know how to hold a conversation and talk. And I think hearing it from people such as yourself that, it can hold a conversation and know how to speak well. I think it's good to hear. I think from just the regular yuppie or the regular peasant on the internet, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying. It means a lot. So thank you so much.
Too much good goes left unsaid, Matty. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, 100%. I agree. I think honestly, I do agree that we need to make sure that we do tell people when we enjoy their shit. Not saying it as a like, hey, make sure you come to me and give me praise and messages and stuff. But it's funny because like I was saying just before the podcast started that people have been hitting me up and saying, hey, we love the podcast, just out of the blue, not when it's on, not straight after it. And I go, wow, like that's the most motivating. It pushes me to do better. You know what I mean?
That's fuel to the fire, man.
Yeah, and you go, wow, I need to make sure when I'm enjoying something, I let people know. Like it's powerful. Dude, it's really powerful, and people sort of I don't know if it's the ego or whatever kind of gets in the way, because it's like if I see someone like, I really like your stubble, man, like it looks really good on you. Oh, thank you.
But most people will be like, they might see it, but saying it it makes me vulnerable by saying it, because maybe you could react in a bad way, and suddenly
that is true. That is so true.
That's why I think that's why so much good goes left unsaid, because it makes the person vulnerable with who's complimenting.
It's a shame because we're almost a bit shut off in the world at times. Like maybe not us, but people are so scared to even make eye contact walking down the street with people these days, which sucks. Like I want to give people a leg up, but they're so worried that the person's people are worried that they're going to get stabbed for going good eve or something, or someone's going to get the fuck you say.
It's like 1840s. Good eve.
Yeah, good evening. Tip the top hat and spin the cane.
I've got a story about that. Tipping the hat.
Go in. Yeah.
Well, it's just so random. Like I walked into the gym and there's a receptionist at the front of the gym.
Okay.
And every day I say, g'day, how you going? But I don't know why, but for some reason this day, I tipped my hat to her. Randomly, I have no idea.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea. I was walking in and I was like,
and you're talking it's just a cap like this, right? Like
it's the same as what that is, yeah. But it's piping hot like a 10-year-old surf kid. And,
can you still buy pipe? Is that just from you've preserved that hat, or can you still buy piping hot?
Well, yeah, you can still buy it, because I was on holidays in Queensland a few months ago, and I went into Target, and I needed a hat, and they had a piping hot hat. I'm like, that'll do. And now I've never stopped wearing it.
Piping hot was the shit back in the day.
Piping hot, hang 10, lightning bolt.
Oh, 100%. Like the backpacks and the hat, all I rocked at school back in the day, dude. Piping hot,
Yeah.
If I could have worn whatever I wanted at school, like uniform-wise, piping hot, just drip. Drip, like nothing but.
I remember I had hang 10 camo shorts and a camo shirt.
Oh, my dude.
And I used to wear them all the time.
My dude.
Together.
I don't know what it is. I mean, because it's like that. It's a little bit cheaper, isn't it? Than obviously your big brands like Billabong and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it's like the budget sort of surf brand.
It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I want to bring that shit back. Let's bring it back.
I want a piping hot singlet. I'd love a piping hot singlet.
I'm gonna take it even further. I want a piping hot sponsorship. Let's get
this.
Let's get this podcast sponsored on Piping Hot. Who owns it? It's like Kmart or Target. I think Target might own, or maybe it's an independent. But
I have no idea.
Or saying, yeah, all right, let's make it happen. Piping Hot. You know, I love the brand. Imagine I had
probably owned by Woolworths or Coles or something.
Yeah. Imagine having to do an ad read right now. I'm like, all right, so I'm just going to do a quick ad read. Piping hot for the freshest, dopest clothes you can get. Do you want to look like a surfer, but you're not? Piping hot, baby. That will get. Do you always feel like the other guy gets the girl? Hey, you know what to do, baby. Pipinghot.com. Check their shit. You'll be just girls and surfing hanging off both arms immediately. And Piping Hot will be like, our sales are up by 1,000%.
Yeah,
DanPentz it was only DanPentz buying our hat. Just one hat.
One hat for the year.
The shit. So anyway, yeah, continue. But tipping the hat. What even is that? Like fucking what even?
It's like 1840s gentleman. Like, I don't know.
What was even the gesture of tipping? You know, okay, this is massive conversation of gestures because I thought of this the other day. Why do we not shake our fists at people anymore? Why do we not? Why do people not when they get angry go? Ah! No one does it. You're only seeing like Simpsons or something where someone's like, like, you know, it's like back in the day, surely like people shook their fist at people like, you motherfucker, you know what I mean? But it's like we've shown, like it's like extinct. No one does it anymore. And same with the tipping of the hat. What is it that changed? Like, how did these become extinct? Like, you know what I mean? What's going to be the next thing? Like waving? Do you reckon waving's like, it's so weird, right?
It's very weird. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't know why. I don't know if did people shake fists. I feel like that's just in movies, but I don't know. It has to come from somewhere.
It has to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it's angry Europeans. Just like,
do you reckon? Have you seen that? Okay, have you seen that video of the two? I swear it's in like Russia or something. And the two guys that are like they're having an argument, and they're like kind of in the middle of the street, and then they start to part ways, but they keep turning and going. And it's like the strength of their roofing, and they're like giving it really hard, and the other guy goes, and they're just in a battle of like the rude finger, like the energy of their rude finger is like punishing the other person.
Yeah, it sounds like a Dragon Ball Z like energy battle sort of thing.
Have you seen that? I'm like, surely that is set up. No way can they be like, this is hurting the other man's feelings. It's the best thing, and it's like. I mean, you don't really even see people genuinely giving the finger anymore. It's like, is that the next one to go? Are we losing our culture of insults? Like, what do we do now? What do we even gesture it to offend people, or do people in this day and age just go fuck you? Like, what is it?
I don't know. I agree it's happening less. I got the finger the other day, like some guy in a car like next to me, like
in the car.
In the car
is the finger zone.
I feel like driving's kind of different because driving, it's like you're in a pressure cooker because there's so many things happening around you. Yeah. Everything is dangerous. You know, one bloody milli poop to your left and you'll have an accident. You know, so it's a high pressure situation. So if something and driving's all about predictability. Like if you're a predictable driver, you're a safe driver. If you're driving unpredictably, like swerving randomly, that's what scares people, I think.
Yeah.
So like. And, you know, it only takes like, you know, 1 millisecond or one to crash. So I think that's what boils the cooker to make people like suddenly you're driving, you're a happy person, but suddenly like...
Oh, it just changes people. Yeah. Both fists shaking at the same time.
That's right.
That does not look aggressive at all.
You're just like dancing to Sandstorm, really.
I'll get you. Yeah. And everyone's like, he's having a good time over there.
Yeah, that's right.
What he's listening to. Yeah, 100%. It changes the whole thing.
Yeah, two hands really changes it.
It changes the mood too. The whole like gesture goes out the window. Maybe that's what happened. People tried to try to evolve the fist shake, and it just got completely lost in dance. People were like, right. They're like, no,
and disco was born.
Yeah, disco, exactly. Oh man, have you ever watched the dash cam videos on like there's Dashcam Australia on YouTube.
They're brilliant.
It scares the shit out of me to leave my house. And not even to get into a car at that point. If anyone hasn't watched Dashcam Australia, it's basically, I don't know how often they do it, maybe monthly. They
weekly or monthly, yeah.
Weekly or monthly. As many dickheads, as long as there's dickheads on the road, there'll be compilations. But it's basically, I think there's like a one for the UK as well. There's probably one for America, but the Australian one's great because of just how we handle things.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
you fucking dickhead. Like people yell out the way. Like that's like
every single clip.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, fucking cock. No, that cockhead's probably more UK. Like, yeah, dickhead. Like, dickhead is like the guarantee when someone does something stupid on the road, you hear someone go, oh, yeah, what a dickhead. Like,
yeah. Every single, like, little clip, like, when, like, the near miss or the accident happens, it's like, what a dickhead.
Yeah, 100%. I watch those compilations and I think, do I really want to leave my house? Do I want to go on the road anymore? Because it really shows you how often, and those are just the ones that are captured on camera. Those are the instances, and it shows you how many crazy fucking people exist on this earth and should not drive. And I think, and it opens your eyes to the fact that really, when you're driving, you are really just doing this unrehearsed performance, this dance with other cars where essentially you're going this way, the other car's going this way. There is like that margin of error where there's essentially some don't even really have much of a line between you, and you just pass each other like at like 100 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, and you're trusting the other person not to like sneeze.
And your mortality is challenged every fucking time that happens.
Oh, dude, and it's like, it's crazy. And
we're so used to, like, how is the fear of driving not more of a thing at this point? What do you think it is? Why is it just because it's so much of a cultural thing that like we just don't think about driving? But like,
I think it sounds like ignorance to me. Like, I'm very aware of driving and how dangerous it is. Yeah, I take driving very seriously. I drive a lot for work, you know, you know, driving to and from clients' houses and, you know, popping around suburbs. But like, I think, I 100% know the dangers of driving, and know the risks of what would happen. So like, I'm always holding the wheel 10 and 2. You know, I'm not like holding it at the very bottom of the wheel. Like, Matty.
I didn't say anything, but yeah, I'm a bit of a one of these guys.
Fat arming, yeah, nice.
Just like barely gripping the wheel with the 2 fingers. I'm trying. I want the cool to safe ratio to just be on a teeter of a balance. You know what I mean?
On the seesaw.
Yeah, just on the seesaw where it could go either way. Just the cool ratio of like my seat's reclined. I'm like, you know, and I've got like my phone on the dash where I'm just watching a movie at the same time because that's cool, right?
Yeah.
No, you know, I'll I find it uncomfortable to grip it with 2 hands. To be honest, I actually find it really uncomfortable to, like, I'll do the turn of the corner like Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? You know, park it like it's hard. I just think, I don't know.
I get it. Like, because, you know, if you've been driving for a while, you might get a bit like sore or tired. Like, you know, sometimes I'll probably go one hand, but like, I feel like it gets hard, but that's when you just have to conquer the inner bitch. You just got to tell yourself to shut up.
And yeah, I mean, do you reckon it is safer though? Do you reckon 2 hands is guaranteed? Like, what makes 2 hands over 1 hand on a wheel safer? I guess like you've got more control.
Yeah. Have you had a tire shred on you when you're driving?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So it's so if a tire shreds, I had one of the back ones go, so it's not as bad as the front. I've had a front one deflate really quickly, but I've had a back one shred, like driving, and suddenly it just goes, and it's like quick sudden jerks of the steering wheel, mainly with the front, because you know you steer with the front wheels. Yeah. And if one of them shreds, suddenly you just get pulled one way. And if you've got like a little sissy grip, it'll get ripped out of your hands. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Complacence. It's. So you don't think about that shit. That's the thing. You are fucking aware, that's for sure. Because I don't ever think about, I guess, situations like that. There's so much. Not to freak people out. There's so much that you could die, right, on the road. It's fucking real. And you don't think about like stupidly dangerous.
Yeah, and that's why I just think it's crazy that when you say to people like, hey, what's your worst fear? Like mine's like squids. It's like, it should be driving. Like, people are so scared of flying, right? People are so scared of flying. I'm not scared of flying, but I still get nervous in a way. And I guess you don't do it as often, and you possibly didn't go on your first flight till you're a bit older, maybe. I don't know. Whereas driving, you've probably been in a car since you were first born, you know? But you... I mean, that's the thing. There's less chance of getting in a plane accident than a car accident. Yeah. We so happily jump into a car, almost on the daily, but then when we go on a plane, we're like, oh shit, okay, hopefully it doesn't crash. And it's what a weird mindset
Definitely. I think it's like, you think you hit the nail on the head with when you said complacency. Like, it's just, you know, if we were to fly every single day, you might not even think about it. You might just jump in.
Yeah.
But like, with driving, I think because we do it all the time, every day, everyone has a car, everyone drives. But when you fly, especially because, you know, you go really fast and you're up in the 10 kilometers up in the air flying around, you're like, if something happened, I would have no control. But when you're driving, I guess you're feeling control, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's, you know, it also is as well. I feel not as confident. I'm always the driver. I always like to be the driver. And if someone else is driving, I do have like that weird kind of, you surrender your, like, your life to this person. It's your life is in their hand.
Bloody earth it is, man.
It's so trusting.
Especially if there's like a car full, like say if there's a car full of like 4 people and you're the driver, like it's your responsibility to keep everyone alive. It's a lot of responsibility. It's
scary, man. People take it for granted. People don't think about the consequence in a way. Yeah, it's scary, man. I don't know. I'm more scared of driving now than I ever have been. Good shot.
So Matty, what fitness do you do, mate?
What? Wait, you want to know what fitness I do? Okay, you'll be horrified to know, Dan. I hate to say this. I don't think I've done any form of fitness in months. I don't think I've done anything. I have been sitting at this desk on the daily as he takes a very stressed drink of his water bottle. Like, oh boy, here we go. I don't think I've done any fitness, and it doesn't weirdly show on the outside, but I feel like it potentially is starting to show on the inside. I'm, you know what I mean? Like, but like my heart, I worry about my heart, which is a big thing. And if I was to start working out, it wouldn't be so much for vanity. It would be for a I don't want to die today. My history on fitness though, 100%. I tried working out a handful of times at a little workout station around the side of my house. My dogs had shredded all the padding off it, so it was literally just wood that I had put a couple of towels down and try and do a couple of bench presses and stuff. And I got into it for a while, and I did see gains, and I was doing all the bulking shit, which is expensive as hell, which I want to talk about in a little bit, about the cost of fitness and looking good and whatnot. But I always only last 3 months, and then it's like the 3-month curse. Do you notice that? Is that like a standard time? Because please help me if it is, because I always seem to get 3 months guaranteed, and then I just can't continue. I fall off the wagon so suddenly too. So that's why I'm very curious about motivation as well, because it's so hard to stay motivated. And you've been doing it, like, as we'll probably hopefully go back to since 14,
we'll get there at the end.
Since like 14. I know it'll be like wrapped up. The whole thing will be like this story that's told throughout. You know, with stories intertwined, like the most perfect story throughout. That's great. It's like one of those movies where it keeps flashing back to like, Grandpa, tell me more about your upbringing. He's like, well, and he starts telling the main story. There's so many like small stories littered throughout it. But yeah, like the motivation factor of it.
3-month curse, you said.
The 3-month curse, like, is that a thing? Do you see that often? Because you see a lot of people come and go in your world of fitness.
Massively. I think that's probably a thing with hobbies in general, like the 3-month thing. Because I'm a bit of a Renaissance man. Like I've touched in like many different hobbies and like done many different things. And in a way, that's kind of how I started Twitch streaming, to be honest.
Right.
But like just trying something out, just giving it a go, then I stuck to it. You know, I just really got glued to streaming and Twitch streaming, and like because I think it's community and people focused and based. That's what really glued my heart to it.
It's like there's more people holding you accountable at times to keep you engaged in what you're doing. Whereas fitness, in a way, like just using fitness as an example, fitness is a lot of time all you. There's no one really like forcing you to go out. There's no one saying, hey, why'd you not go exercise today? Whereas Twitch, if you don't stream certain days, some people might be like, hey, where you at? You know, you had a schedule. Why aren't you not here today? Or people start asking questions, and you worry that you get. I mean, I guess in the way though, the similarities are that if you stop doing it, you might lose it a bit. You might lose a bit of community, or exercise, you might lose some gains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're both like if you stop doing something, there is a drop off, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like, and the drop off is different depending on whatever the project is. But I think like because I've given a lot of things a go for a few months, and did it and saw it partially through, and then thought, okay, I can move on.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of in school. Like, so when I started training, when I was I just started doing fitnessy stuff when I was like 14. So maybe we'll dial back and I'll give you the quick rundown.
Let's do it. I won't interrupt this time. I won't interrupt. Let's do it.
Please do if you need to. So I'm like, I got beaten by Harry Smith, a prick. No, Harry S. No, and
wait,
I'm joking. It's not.
Oh God, I was about to say this is. I was going to interrupt you again and go deep on that subject. All right, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. So he beat me in an arm wrestle, and I'm like, I thought I was pretty tough, and this guy, he doesn't look that tough, and how did I lose? So I went home. And we had these 2 really old plastic dumbbells, a few kilos each. Yeah. 4.5 kilos actually.
Can I just say I did it again. But every family has those 2 dumbbells somewhere in their house. Can all the people that still live at home, do your parents just randomly have just one set of random, just really light, probably wouldn't do much of anything dumbbells? My dad had, I think it was more for physio, but he had the ones that they're literally like God, like the size of this.
Yes.
And they're nothing. And I remember as a fucking kid, I'd go to my dad's office, get the dumbbells, the 2
either 1 kilo, whatever they are.
1 pound. Do we use pounds? And I'd just be like, doing these ones up against the mirror, and I'd be like, why am I not looking good? School starts in 3 days. Because you have no idea. But yeah, I think everyone's fairly has. Anyway, sorry, interruption. Continue.
So I so I went and did I did a few push-ups, a few sit-ups, and then just some dumbbell stuff. I knew how to do was just some bicep curls and some shoulder press, just from because we didn't have internet, we didn't have a computer or anything. It's just from what I saw on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So so every second day I was doing a couple dumbbells, but every day I was doing push-ups and sit-ups. And then maybe it was 6 months later or so, I got into this shoving contest with the guy that was he was known to be really
did it end up on the ground? Because that's how young boys fight, huh? Even you know how it always kind of just ends up on the ground and you're just rolling around? Is that
wrestling and whatnot?
Because everyone's, as a kid, you're too scared to throw a punch. I'd be scared to throw a punch now, but you know what I mean? It's one of those was it kind of one of those fights? It wasn't
It was more of just a dominant sort of alpha male sort of test, I guess. He was year 10, motorbike rider, kind of a cool dude, and a bit of a bully. He was more of a, I guess, a bit of a bully. People knew him as kind of this guy, right? Anyway, we got into some sort of I don't know. It was kind of what'd you say? And then we started shoving, but I started being able to push him around.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa! So this working out that I've been doing is making me strong. I can push around this strong guy that rides motorbikes. I'm like, whoa, that feels really cool.
So you started working out to beat everyone up. Good story.
yeah, that's right. So I started to get stronger. I'm like, whoa, it actually works. Because I didn't really know if it worked. Working out worked. I didn't know it worked.
As a young kid and you're learning and your body's developing, you started.
It feels like we're going to have the birds and the beasts discussion.
Yeah, you start getting those feelings and you're changing, you're going through the changes and yeah. But I mean, it is a really young age to start working out. Most kids wouldn't even think of working out at that age. So that's already quite different to a lot of the mindsets of kids. I mean, most kids these days, I'm sure, want to stay indoors and play the video games. You know what I mean?
God. Kids today, Matty. Kids today.
No. Wait, really?
No.
But yeah, so continue. So you got that. You got the power.
I'm
beat the shit out. Okay, yeah. I'll let you.
It wasn't it wasn't a fight or anything. It was just a bit of a show of dominance, I guess.
Okay.
People thought he could shove me around easily, but then I pushed back, and next minute, it was Anyway, so I sort of felt like whoa, I feel strong, and I felt really good because I had a pretty interesting childhood growing up, you could say. It was pretty alternative, I guess, and not highly functioning, especially growing up with my older brother. I was kind of the short end of the stick. I remember this prick, right? My brother's friend.
Go for it. Yeah.
Bastard. I remember his name's Simon. I remember him.
Simon, you fuck.
Yeah, he was, because he's I was a young trusting boy, right? And I'm no, this sounds like the story. This sounds like
it sounds like it's going elsewhere.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going elsewhere. It's not. I assure you, it's not going elsewhere.
Hanging out at our house, and I was really trusting, and it's okay, let's see where this goes. Oh shit, I might have to shut this down.
We had these. He's like, yeah. What you do is you hold. I'll be Simon the prick. He's like, what you do is you get the box of matches and you hold the matches in each finger and strike the box. And I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, that's cool. But what it did, it ignited the matches on my fingertips. Like, you know, when a match ignites,
yeah,
it goes, that was on my fingertips.
And
like,
he knew that was going to happen. Like,
yeah. Summon the bloody rat dog, mate.
Man, rat dog.
Major rat dog. So, so then, like, I'm like, yeah, he was a real prick. But it was like, you know, just, I guess that's kind of an example of like some of like my brother's mates and whatnot.
Yeah, they were one of those guys.
You know, and I was always like the weakest, the youngest, weakest sort of thing. So like, you know, funny thing, I remember like there was a game, we had a Super Nintendo, and there was like we were playing Street Fighter afterwards or something.
Ooh, great choice.
Yeah, great choice. But so then like I started to get strong in year 9 or when I was 14. I'm like, oh, this feels really good. It was empowering, right? Because I was always
100%.
You know,
and it was. How could it not give you that feeling? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was empowered because I'm like, okay, I've got strength now. Like I can stick up for myself. I can be confident with my ability.
Yeah.
So then like I started, kept going, kept working out, kept doing the stuff, and I started to sort of like fill out, like gain muscle mass and get a bit thicker. I'm like, I don't mind the way this looks. This looks okay. You know, this looks pretty good. And like someone like, and I get comments. I'm like, oh, Dan, you're looking really big, or whoa, look at those muscles, you know.
That's the thing, comments, like we were saying, and compliments and whatnot, the great motivator. It's like, it can be a real deterrence when you don't get that. We crave it, no matter who we are, we crave that validation. And as much as we say we can motivate ourselves and whatnot, to some degree, you really do. This is definitely different for everyone, but I do believe it's really a big thing for most people, is that you do need that little bit of validation from people around you. And I have seen where people have worked out that they don't always get that validation from people around them, and you see the struggle. You know what I mean? You see it's a little bit harder because they're just like, why am I and they question if it's even working or if people notice. And I don't know. I find it's that could be a big part of it, the continuation.
Yeah, I feel like I agree under the basis of like probably that's where like why communities are so important, because the communities that's because like regardless of you can have a community in anything, like whether it's the members of the gym, your stream community, your photography mate, unicycle community, like you get that. Yeah, you get that sort of like that validation probably through that group and that community.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, the sense of community longing or need, I think it's quite an important conscious or subconscious thing in people's lives.
Yep, 100%.
So because I was just thinking to, you know, like how important is validation to me, and I was thinking, you know, in the gym that I go to, there's a good like bunch of community with the boys, with the lads.
Yep.
And I think we get like validation that way, whether it's like, I was just thinking like, I'm like, do I need validation? Do I need that?
I mean, that's the thing, because we might not even realize we need it. But
exactly.
Because that's the thing, I was looking through your VODs and I did see, you know, the one where you're at the gym, and I thought, wow, like I've never been to a gym. No, I've been once. I'm one of those people. I signed up once and never went back again. And
gave them lots of money.
Gave them lots of money and had to really kind of be like, hey, can you please just get me off this? Like, because that was a bit of a shit show. Now, if I ever want to go back, I probably can't. Let's just say that much. But anyway, but
you fought the gym owner.
I fought him and I won. And it was just, I felt really bad for him. I just didn't want to embarrass him. You know, they said, Matt, you are now the leader of the gym. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can, I've got a lot on my plate, but we'll see.
That is Matty, not Brock. I don't know if I can lead this gym.
I know, right? Brock, I want to get into that. But the whole thing of I had a point, and now I'm like, oh, what is it? Validation. Oh yeah, I saw when you were at your gym, and you were talking to the people around you in between sets and whatnot, and it had a real camaraderie vibe. I mean, I don't know how close a mate he is, but he's like, oh, what are you lifting at the moment? And you're just chatting away, and I thought that just having people just. More than just the reason of going there just to push some metal up in the air, you know what I mean? I think that would add to the motivation, surely, having that, because I didn't have that obviously working out in my backyard, and I also only had the same equipment to work on every day, so I think that was a big issue with it. But I think surely if I had a community to help push me, that's got to be a big part of any motivation when you do something like that.
I agree. Definitely. Absolutely. When I first started training, I trained at home for probably 4 years before I went to a gym.
Really?
Correct.
You got 4 years in. And was that with pretty much the same gear every day? Was it limited?
Yeah, exactly the same like dumbbells, man.
How did
the same dumbbells.
So the motivation for you really was seeing the change, seeing the compliments. As you,
I think it was like mainly me feeling empowered and strong within myself. I think that was why I kept going. That was my motivation too. Okay. You know, like it gave me identity after a while. It gave me identity as kind of like, you know, a strong boy. Dan, he's the strong one, you know.
Yeah.
But also, the feeling strong, because that ties back to confidence. Yeah. You know, if you feel good, you know, I felt strong. I was confident. If you're confident, you'll perform well. You know, it's a bit of a circle, a bit of a triangle.
Yeah, 100.
So I think that's what, because I always had friends. I had friends that started and stopped like after 3 months, you know, like kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
3 months, they'll do it, they'll stop. And it's like, well, why'd they stop? They're like, oh, you know, got a bit tired today. Then you skip one day, then you skip another day, then you skip a week. And next thing before you know it, it's been months.
You're just so out of it. Yeah, that's how it happens. That's how it happened for me every time. It was like you take one day off and it can really lead to a couple of months off to a just indefinite, well, that's that.
100%.
It was just terrifying.
Yeah, it is, and it's a legitimate thing. It happens to a lot of people, you know.
Yeah,
Matty, I really have to pee.
No, you do your thing. Look, I might even pee as well. I'm not busting too bad, but hey, everyone, feel free to go pee quickly.
Go pee, yeah.
No, actually, you know what? How do you feel about this? Let's do this. We've never done it before. How do you feel about keeping my chat like just rambling? If you go pee first. And I talk for a minute, and then you come back. That way, there's no dead air, and I don't have to cut anything out. All right, let's do it. All right,
baby.
You go relieve yourself, good sir. You go relieve. Yeah, how dare you pee? By the way, now they can't hear me. How dare you ruin my podcast? By the way, how nice is his background? I feel like he's just floating in infinite space. How's everyone feeling? By the way, also Hanene, welcome in. Also, I actually really want to. I feel like I should bring that up with Dan because I agree. Negativity. That's another side of the coin. I really like that. Not that anyone would be negative towards you, God forbid, but that negative can be such a driving force for things. When people are negative and you go, oh, show those motherfuckers, and you do it in almost spite of it, but it becomes a passion from that. Yeah, that's a good little point there. I might have to bring that up with Dan, but good to see you there. Raw, hopefully enjoying your time. Draws as well. Pee break. Yeah, I'm going to pee as well. I yesterday, when the power went out, the first thing I did was obviously to let you guys know what was going on. But then I went and oh my God, I thought it was going to explode off me. I had been holding it for a long time. There was a lot of pressure built up, and I thought I was going to lose it. Yeah, just be safe out there, people. I had been holding it for a little bit too long because I didn't want to break the flow of the Red Ops podcast, and I felt like there were some dangers that I could have been facing. Thank God I'm safe though. Thank God I'm safe. Well, that was quick. I don't think I'm going to match that. I can already hear him. He might be talking from the bathroom though. Let's try and hear what he's saying. Okay, I think you said this is the best podcast I've ever done. Matt's a complete professional. He's going to be the next biggest thing on Twitch and in the podcasting world. What?
All right.
Goodness. Okay, can't tell when we heard any of that. Hey, how was it? How you feeling? You feeling much better?
I feel great. I feel like my bladder is empty. When I have really hot food, I get lava bladder. Like I literally peeing lava. Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, have you ever had this? I can't wait to be in Reliefville as well, because that's going to be fun. But have you ever had... Yeah, I've seen... You've been drinking a lot of liquids as well, and I'm sure that is a big part of the bodybuilding thing, of course, having a shit ton of water. But have you ever had that feeling where you feel a little bit queasy? Like, not even queasy. It's like you feel it in kind of the pit of your stomach, and it's like you know you just need to pee and you'll feel better. I don't know. Is that weird? I know you're not a doctor, but hey, Dr. Dan, because I feel like I get that sometimes. And I say it to Tay, and I'm like, do you ever get that when you feel a little bit queasy and you just know you need to pee and that will make you feel better?
So the feeling is queasiness, is it? Is it queasiness?
Oh God, it's like really like in like I get it in God. It's hard to even explain. It's like a weird kind of just not up here, but down kind of more around the bladder region. But you feel like it's almost like it's like almost like a burny kind of. Oh, now it sounds like I've got some sort of STD.
Yeah. So, Dr. Dan, I prescribed 3 doses of penicillin.
So, what have you been putting it in, Matt? This first question. Where have you been? Because I don't know. I just feel like that's the thing. Okay, maybe I'm just weird. Things that you shouldn't admit on the internet. All right.
No. I feel like if you give it a bit more justice and explaining, we can recover from this. We can.
I wish I could. It does. Okay, it doesn't hurt. What doesn't hurt when I pee though.
Yes.
It just feels like an extra relief. You know what I mean? Some people are going to be like tuning out at this point going, "No, listen, this is the worst conversation."
What I think people will be like, I can resonate with this. I'm going to tune in.
Yeah, maybe they're like, I thought I was the only one.
That's right. See, that's the beauty of podcasting and talking. Long form conversation, baby.
100%.
So is that your feeling, would you say, could that be psychological? Could that be mental? You know?
I don't believe it is.
Okay.
But then again, how would I know? I don't think it is though. I don't think it is. I always wonder if it's like something I ate, but then I'm like, most days I'm like, I didn't eat anything weird or different. So I'm like, what is this feeling? But I always feel great. Like, and it's not like I feel like I'm going to be sick or anything. It's just this weird little discomforty kind of feeling. Not even that bad, but I also always kind of go, this is going to feel really good to pee. Because then I'm just like, everyone's probably like, wow, Matt, this is a lot.
So you know it's going to feel good to pee.
Oh,
so could it be like a reward system? Like you're like, I'm going to reward myself.
It's like,
can't wait to reward myself.
I know. Oh, so many endorphins. I'm about to be hit with them. No, it's just like, it's just like, it feels like I feel so much better. Like I start feeling a little bit sick. And no, this make me need to pee more raw. Just letting you, let's FYI. I'm like, now I'm really, I don't know. It just feels more relief than normal. Like I feel like I wish it's what you know when you feel like a certain way and you don't even know how to explain it, which is so weird because it's like in you. You know what I mean? Do you ever get that? Like,
I know what you mean, and I do get it, but I'd like to go to the efforts of trying to explain it. Like, because I want to know what the bloody hell's going on, Dan.
Well,
Dan, what's going on, man?
Like it feels like I'm about to pee out the flames of hell.
Yes.
But then I don't. So because then it just feels like normal pee.
Yeah.
So like, what's the thing, Dr. Dan?
Mate, look, leave it with me. I'll Google it and I'll get back to you, mate.
Good. And you have leprosy. I'm like, oh shit. All right. Dan, how are you feeling about taking the podcast? You're the first person to ever take the podcast by yourself, but I trust you. I believe in you. I come back and the logo is DanPentz podcast. And I'm like, wait a minute, and you're like, so Matt, good to have my guest MattyAP back on the call. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on for a minute? All right, everyone, be good to Dan. For all the audio listeners, this is a big moment. Episode 8, I believe we're on right now. Episode 8, and this is the first time that I've left you guys alone with a stranger. But he's not a stranger. He's Dan.
I'm not.
So everyone enjoy the smooth caramel voice of DanPentz as he sings you his rendition of Oh Holy Night. Take it away, Dan. All right, I'll be back.
Holy night.
You sound great, by the way. You sound amazing. Keep it up.
Silent night. All is calm. All is bright. When for mother and virgin child sleep in heaven. So, hey guys, look, I appreciate Matty for trusting me with his stream. I absolutely appreciate it. It's very, very nice. It's what a compliment. And thanks to you guys for watching and listening and chatting and being a part of it. I've had chat closed because I didn't want to be distracted, but I see you delicious guys. Hi everybody. Terrible singer, Rat Dog, Brooke. Rat Dog. But nah, look, I hope I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's great. I'm having a ball of a time. Matty's great conversationalist, you know. Topics are going left and right and zigging and zagging. They're up and down. And it's really good. It's really good. And I was pretty nervous. Legitimately, I was like, why am I nervous? But I think you get nervous about the right things, about important or exciting things. And you need to rise to the occasion. You just need to suck it up. You need to grab yourself by the nugs or the internal nugs of your woman. You just need to just grab it and just tackle it by the horns. That's what you have to do. You have to just conquer your fears. That's where this is going, you know. So regardless of the situation, whether you're interviewing on a podcast, whether you're interviewing for the presidency of the United Australian Nation, you need to go by the horns and just take charge and go for it. I feel like I could be maybe Matty didn't want to go this way. Or should we do a motivational speech? Do we want to, jump on the stairs of the Memorial Centre? Do we want to scream to the top of our lungs? Do we want to say, it's time. It's time to put away these fears. It's time to talk like Frank Walker from National Tiles, and we want to sell the universe with our confidence and upbraideth and be liberal about our doings and our speakings and... Matty, you're going to listen to this back in your VOD, mate, or the podcast. Listeners, I apologize. Dan, too, took over for a little while there, but yeah. So, yeah, it's good. So, very, very enjoyable. He's great. Matt's great. He's great. I really like this podcast that he's doing. Infinite Mike. I mean, you do what you need to do, man.
All right. So a lot to unpack here. I can hear it all.
Oh no, you can hear it all.
Look, I didn't want to interrupt. Look, I finished paying like 5 minutes ago, but I was just really enjoying everything you were saying. Okay, so a lot to unpack about the nugs. When you say nugs, by the nugs, what do you mean? Like by the nugs?
Metaphor.
Oh.
Just like, yeah, just metaphor. Metaphor, man.
For what? Like, what could it be?
Well, it could be a myriad of things. Whatever the nug symbolizes to your mind, I guess.
Oh my god, you did amazing, by the way. Big round of applause. Dan, the first person I've ever had to leave unattended. Oh god, I just jarred my thumb. I'm so excited. I think I don't know. I don't think I could ever trust someone more than I trust you now. I think if anything, Dan, I think we need to have maybe someone, whenever I have another guest on, I just need to have you off to the side. So when I do, because I can't trust anyone else. Fuck that. All the guests I've had on so far, I wouldn't trust them with even anything. But you, I would say, all right, well, we're going to quickly just, Dan, I need to go pee. Can you just come in here for a minute and just sing, talk, just inspire people? And the person's like, hey, what about, and I cut them off, my guest, because I'm like, no, I don't trust you. I'm
concerned, Matty. I'm concerned you're only saying this because I'm your first.
That I can't believe you'd insinuate that. You called me a liar? Are you calling me?
I'm vulnerable right now. Like
tomorrow's episode of Raw does the entire thing by himself. I'm in the corner eating a bowl of cereal. Like, you're doing great. Just, Oh, this is good content.
Yeah.
You're like, I thought I was going to be the only one. I just shook my fist.
Was that aggressive cereal eating or fist shaking?
Oh, I think it was fist shaking. But it's weird because maybe, am I doing it now because I'm feeling like we were talking about it, so I feel the need to?
I think so.
Oh, goodness, yeah. It's like brought back into my subconscious because I'm thinking about, ooh.
That's some primitive caveman action.
We're going to wake up tomorrow and everyone's going to be walking around the streets just shaking their feet and going to be like, what have I done? The ripple effects of my actions have just completely changed the world as we know it. Everyone can't put their fist down. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
Double fisting, single fisting, the MattyAP butterfly effect, man.
Double fisting, mate. Just everyone's double fisting everyone. It's a mess out there. It's a mess out there.
What a future we live in.
What a world we live in. Okay,
yeah.
Oh no, I'm fine to go. We can go back down the iPhone route. Well, but what were we talking about before we needed to go pee? What was the
It was fitness.
That's right, fitness. We're talking about motivation. You were telling your story of getting back on that. We were talking about getting, your motivation as a young one. You go into that fight, you got that feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm liking this feeling of strength, and that you can protect yourself as well. I'm sure a lot of that is where you can hold your own. It
feels good.
But here's the thing: once you get that feeling, how do you keep? Because surely eventually that feeling kind of is like, oh yeah, well, I feel this every day. How do you get past that? How do you keep motivated from that point on? Because I still feel like there's a point where that's just going to that feeling might be redundant one day because you felt it for years. Like, does it become that way? Do you need to fill the void with other feelings of motivation, or is it just that easy?
No, it's not that easy.
Okay.
As I've progressed now, like, because I've been training. So for 14 to 15 years, say, which is a very long time. And I just, I never stopped. But I think just delving deep into it now, like my motivations have definitely changed. like because I started doing fitnessy stuff, and then I met this mixed martial art instructor. So then I started doing mixed martial arts when I was, I think, 15 and a half or 16.
Okay.
I think 15, and like, dude, like the feeling of like boxing and fighting, it was like someone just like revealed God to me. They gave me like, because it was like this
really?
it was like an amplified version of the strength of working out, because suddenly I didn't have to worry about trying to prove myself, because you'll find that a lot of fighters, they're really nice because they're not insecure. They don't have to like, they
don't have to prove anything. They're just
that's right. You often, unless because you do get like dicks and arrogant people where they will just be like, yeah, mate, I'm the best.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of like fighters and whatnot, they're actually really nice people, because they don't have anything to prove. They're not insecure about their ability. If trouble came their way, they could handle it.
Yeah, they don't need to act a certain way. They can just be themselves, and that's why you see, right, when you see maybe a fight break out, like someone challenges a dude, maybe it's just on YouTube, blah blah blah, but you see one dude who's clearly the better fighter, and they smile or they'll just laugh, and they kind of go, okay, mate, because they're not threatened by it. And I think that is it. They don't need to be like, oh, let me teach you a lesson, because it's like, fuck, they're confident with themselves. It is true. It would give you that form of confidence as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, it gives you, but I think it ties back to like, me not having to worry, because like suddenly it's something I don't have to prove, or like it gives me like my own strength and my own ability to be able to, if I had to defend myself or whatever, like, so I think I've got a lot of like, of me today, because I'm fairly chill. I definitely don't go looking for trouble. I'm definitely, I try and be nice, not as nice as I can as a person, like, and, you can be empathetic and everything, because I don't have that ego is not sort of blocking that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Look, I was talking to Red yesterday, who's also a pretty fit dude. He's been in the army and whatnot. He's pretty tanked. He's a pretty bit of a unit. You wouldn't want to fuck with him, right? Well, I wouldn't want to fuck with him. I'd love to have you guys in a cage and see who wins, to be honest. Although he's got like I'm pretty sure he's got like a broken ankle at the moment, so you'd that might be a thing. But he was talking about how the way he looks, being a bit more of a tough dude. Obviously, he's got all the tattoos and whatnot over his arms, and because he is a bit more of a built guy, he says that it can draw a bit of attention, like trouble. Like people almost want to challenge him at times when he's out and about to almost be the alpha dog. Have you ever found that yourself? Do you find guys have ever tried to challenge you just out of the blue because they see you as a guy that is bigger? Like, I've never been challenged in that way. I don't know why. I'm quite a unit myself, but do you ever find that? Do you find that that's like a thing that happens?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's happened.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened a lot. People just like, they'll kind of look at you, or they might sort of like give you a little bump or a shove just because either you're like, like there could be like, kind of like male rivalry, like, the alpha sort of leader, like, oh, you think you're tough, I'm tough, kind of prove yourself a little bit, I guess.
Wow, the life of an alpha male. What's that like?
Oh man, I don't know. I have to ask someone else.
Oh God, no.
Serious. I don't. Yeah, but I guess there is that. Like, I guess, I don't know, it's a competition, or it could be like a test or a threat, or I don't know what it might be. I think that's on quite a psychological level. But yeah, so a lot of you definitely get that a fair bit. I remember I did a job in a prison a while ago. Quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe five years ago. Like
electrical call out. Oh, okay.
I had to take someone out, mate.
Okay, they called you Big Dan.
Yeah,
Big Dan. Dan, it's a code red. We need you here now. All our men are dead. We need you. Like, rip the shirt off, running. You're like literally running across the water to Alcatraz. Just get me over here. No, it's not Alcatraz anymore. But
that'd be Red Ops jumping out of a helicopter in his camo. Like putting face paint on.
Maybe you two could be like the dynamic duo. Ooh.
I'd be like the clumsy one that's always like falling over and joking, and he'd be like the serious one. But so I had to. It was very interesting because like we got out of the car. We're like, we had to. It was very interesting because we had to work in the kitchen.
I was going to say, surely it would be a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but god damn, going to a prison, not having to be an inmate. Oh my god, that would be an interesting experience.
It gives you perspective because like we were working in the kitchen because I think we changed over one of the deep fryers and fixed an oven. But all the inmates, they're in there cooking, and there's big kitchen knives that are chained to the benches. So wow, yeah, they're all they must be all the inmates that are like are nearly out of there, so like they're on good behavior. So like
somewhat
if
reformed,
if they stuffed up, they're so close to getting out that it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah,
So
because when you first said even knives chained, I'm like, they'd find a way. You know what I mean? Like,
they'd prison break it. They'd get some tattoos. They'd read some codes.
Surely something would go down. But yeah, okay. So they got a lot to lose at that point.
Yeah, and I remember like it was almost like a scene out of a movie because like he's like there's a couple like big burly guys and like they're kind of just like looking at me and you could tell like they're kind of looking and like sizing up and down a little bit, but then like it was fine. But then like later on we had to get a hand like move one of the ovens and they got like this big guy and he's like, "Hey Paulie, he's got bigger muscles than you!" Like it was very like, a scene out of a movie.
You're like, don't call, I'm fine. I'm actually and you're trying to shrink yourself, or you're trying to like those,
just eat
like
a carrot or something.
Like go down, Gaines, go down. I'm better die. Yeah,
it didn't help that I was in speedos. It was very awkward. But
whoa, back the fuck up.
I'm joking.
Oh god.
Yeah,
I was about to deep dive on that shit too. I was like, what is going on in our prism system today? Okay, you got me. Well played. All right, so continue.
Yeah, so that was just interesting. Like, yeah, that's right. We're talking about kind of like, but like I get one thing that's very interesting. Like if you're doing the gym to get the ladies, if you could be doing the fellas, whatever you want.
Which goddamn, there's got to be a big majority like of that is a great motivator.
For some, yes, but I feel like that would die, like because like I feel like that wouldn't last very long. Yeah. I feel personally like it might last a year or two, but like I feel like the gym's a beast of itself. Like the hard work reward, the reward of hard work, and seeing progress is like a self-reward system. Yeah. But my advice to anybody, if you want to get like big and stuff, like don't, because generally like this is very like sort of broad, but I get a lot of attention from gay men. A lot of attention and very minimal attention from ladies. So like if you 100%, 2,000,000%, dude. Like I've been aggressively groped and hit on.
Okay, is it because you essentially you got the muscles, you got the beard? Is that's kind of like a thing, right? Like I don't know why is it that those signs of masculinity. Not that gay people can't be masculine, obviously, but it is funny that the sign of masculinity, the beard and the muscles, is almost as well like a symbolism for like they have those bears or whatever it is in the gay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I found out about them for the first time like probably 18 months ago.
Really?
Like someone came into my Twitch chat and they said, "You look like a bear," and I'm like, I feel like a bear, like the animal. I'm like, big, like, strong animal.
And you're like.
I'm like, oh, thanks, man, nice. And then someone's like, Dan, do you know what a bear means? I'm like, oh, big, strong animal. It's like, no, it's a large, gay, hairy man. And I'm like, well, I'm not one of those, but thanks anyway. Thanks for coming. But, yeah.
That's so funny, dude. What would
yeah, nice.
If I was gay, what would I be? Like, I don't know if you would know like, I guess. Like,
you just like transform into.
what am I? Yeah, like if I was to be, like, is there different labels for different, like, obviously
this is like
bears?
A MySpace quiz, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You're gay. What would you be?
What would I be?
Yeah, what's the first letter of your name?
And what male celebrity would I be? Yeah, would I be with? Yeah, like. Because I wonder, there's bears, but like what? Like I'm a small hairy man. Would I be
bear.
Meerkat? Like I don't know. Like what's
yeah, a mongoose.
Just look. It's me in the
just
bed.
Looking for bears.
Me in the bedroom,
just looking.
Yeah, looking for bears.
Looking for bears, mate.
Looking for bears to eat me. God damn. Okay.
Next topic.
Because something a twink, I still don't know what that is. Maybe I'd be a twink. Am I a twink? Okay, maybe I'm a twink.
I don't know what it is. I've heard that, but I thought a twink was a World of Warcraft character.
Really? Because I hear people say like little, like young, like twink, as like a little. Yeah, someone said bear food. Yeah, that's what all the non bears are called bear food.
Oh man.
I don't know if it's wrong to talk about stuff. I mean, it's not our terminology though. It's like essentially theirs, right? Like that would be made from their terminology. So hey, you do you. I think it's great. But that's so funny. Yeah, because it is the beard and the muscles. It does, and so that's the thing is that like, what is it? Do you think that that you do get hit on and groped more by males than females. Like, what do you think that is? That females don't. Do you think it's just males are more confident in perhaps approaching in general?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. Like that could be like part of that culture.
Females obviously aren't confident because there's plenty of women that'd be confident to do so, but just as
a sort of a general sort of statement, like
generalizing.
Well, it's I think I know.
I'm kidding. Yeah, 2019, right? Here we
but
are.
I think I forgot what I was going to say, man.
Getting hit on more by guys than girls, essentially, and
I don't know, because like because I'm a pretty sort of flamboyant fella. Like I run around, jump around, and like I'm not afraid to giggle and laugh and whatnot.
Okay,
so but could be sending the wrong message potentially.
You reckon?
Like that I'm open for business, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I've never thought of that as being like a thing. But hey, I guess if you're looking for a nice dude, then hit the gym.
Get stuck into it.
Get a beard, hit the gym.
Yeah,
you're sorted.
Yeah, because like the stereotype is like if you're sort of leaner and like if you're like you're still like sort of fit and muscular or have like nice arms, that's sort of like or in like the male model sort of look.
But then like the more bulked kind of.
Yeah, the more sort of bulked look is sort of
bulked, but still takes care of themselves and not like a meathead kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's the ones that like they bulk up, but then they're kind of a bit like guys that they're just a bit more grubby. Maybe they're not as careful with their hair or the maintenance of their beard. They just kind of let it play it where it lands, but they've got they're really tanked. Maybe it's more of like the maintenance side, because you're a well-groomed dude. That beard is on point, and that hair is beautifully flipped to one side.
Thanks, man. I had Em shave because Em gives me haircuts now, so I had her give me a haircut before I started this podcast, just so I could try and look good.
Well, she nailed it because that looks professional as fuck, dude. Well done.
Thanks, I've only taken pride in my appearance the past couple of years since
really?
I've sort of grown a beard and had like a hairstyle. Because before I never cared at all, like. Yeah, zero.
What was the transition phase of all of a sudden like wanting to take pride in your look?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think possibly like being married, because we've been married for 3 years, and like you want to look like you sort of got your stuff together, look good for your partner. Funny?
In a way, though, a lot of people say once people get married, they let go of themselves, which is the other. Some people, I believe, that when they get married, they kind of go, well, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to draw anyone in. It's like, and they just get comfortable and complacent. So in a way, you've gone like the other way, where you've gone, well, now I want to, I don't know. Yeah.
It's interesting because, like I sort of like about 2 years ago, I probably started going to a barber and got some nice haircuts, like, trimmed on the sides and a bit longer on top, kind of like, an actual hairstyle, rather than just like going number 4 all over or cutting it myself with some scissors or, like I sort of grew a bit of a beard. I'm like, oh, this looks okay. I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be cool if I shave the sides and have it longer on top. And now I'm like, now that's kind of become part of my identity. So I do take pride in that for sure.
So with the beard, because obviously I'm a newly reformed beard owner. I used to have a beard. I shaved it off only recently. And for me, it felt liberating to almost get rid of it after having it for so long. How long did you say you've had your beard for? I mean, you've had it longer than I had mine for, I believe.
October 2017. So about a year and a half. I've had a few trims and whatnot since.
Yeah. So you're okay. So have you gotten to a point ever so far where you're like, I just want to shave it? Or do you reckon you'll keep it for a long time to come? Or do you reckon, because for me, I felt like I was going to have it for essentially ever. And then I just got to a point suddenly where I'm like, I'm ready for a change. It's like, do you think you'll get there? Do you reckon it will become a part of your identity now for a long time to come?
When I first started, like when it was like just like short and kind of like the annoying length, I'm like, oh, I should just shave it off. It's annoying. Yeah. And then it grew past that. I'm like, oh, cool. I really like it. But recently, like the past literally like maybe 3 weeks, I've been having these feelings. I'm like, just shave it off.
Oh, you have? Like, so you'll get
said that.
That's how it started for me. That's how it started. Oh, yeah. You start getting those feelings like, oh, what if I did shave it off? Would I really care? And it's like, it's funny. Like, that's where it starts. You might be on that downward spiral.
I'm not going to deny that I could be, but do I want to? I'm definitely undecided if I'll shave it because I quite like having it.
Yeah,
and I feel like I quite like it. So
yeah, I was the same. Like I loved my beard, but at the same time, it's weird because we crave change after a while as humans. It's like we that's the thing I always come down to with like tattoos, that I always think like I love to look at tattoos and I wish I could. Do you have any?
0.
Yeah, me neither. And I actually love the look of them, but I know that I change every so often, couple of years on my style, or not dramatically as I get older. It stays roughly the same, but I like to change my hairstyle or beard to no beard, like quite kind of dramatic. And it's like I think, well, if I've got stuff on my tattoos, if I change my mind on, which I don't think I would at that point. If you get them permanently on, you probably just grow to accept that. But I don't know. It's like, are you in the same boat? Like you?
Yeah, exactly the same boat, man.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, oh, this looks cool, but how do I know in 12 months I won't like it? Because 100% I'm a different person than I was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
And even for me, I agree. I'm the same as well. I've grown a lot and changed a lot. So
you learn things, you go through experiences, then you level up and you upgrade yourself. You're a new person. You might like different things.
Yeah.
Which I think is like, it's the natural progression. But I think, as a tattoo, like I feel like I'd love to get one that was like lasted for 1 year. That'd be awesome to get one that lasted for a year or something.
There's like a technology or something that they're working on, or that they have. I'm pretty sure that there was at least a rumor, or maybe it was like common knowledge, and someone in the chat might be able to fill me in on this, but I'm pretty sure Good Charlotte, the band Good Charlotte back in the day, I remember hearing that their tattoos weren't permanent, that they were like temporary in some way. I don't know if back then the technology was there, so it might have been a rumor, but that's the thing. Do you reckon, I mean, surely there's got to be the next stage of tattoo where it's like it lasts like maybe a year or so. Surely you'd still, no matter how temporary that shit is, you're still putting ink in your skin. It surely is going to like leave some form of thing there.
Yeah.
It's got to. Like,
it would have to have like, it'd be like the ink. I imagine that it would be like some special ink that when you expose it to a certain light, it would like go invisible or go clear.
Yeah, have you seen
like those magic markers with the little purple light?
Yeah,
something like that.
In a way, the way they're doing tattoo removal now is like magic markers. Have you fucking seen how they
remove?
Like
lasers going. Bzz, bzz,
they make that real like tick 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 like noise, and you see it all go white. Like the skin just has this white crustiness.
It's like melting or something.
Yeah, it's like really kind of gross. And apparently it hurts. I believe someone said it hurts more than tattooing itself.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But I've also
my friend had some removed on his arm.
Oh, really?
And he said like it hurt.
And it's more than one process to get it all removed as well. You can't do it in one hit. You have to go a few times, I believe. But from what I hear, that service is booming at the moment because we're kind of coming out of like the era of tattoos being a real. Like they were, you have to admit, a bit on trend for a while there, and maybe they're now normalizing out that people aren't, because everyone I felt like was getting tattoos, which nothing wrong with that.
It still seems like on trend down here in Melbourne for sure.
Really, you reckon it's still on trend?
Yeah,
I feel like people still really get tattoos, but it's just maybe it's that I'm getting a little bit older, and maybe I'm just not around the crowd of people that are impressionable as much, or that are just wanting to set themselves apart at an earlier age. I don't know, because I feel like once you get past a certain level, there's more of a chance that you're going to go, well, I'm already like 30 or whatnot. I don't need it now. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm at the point where, I'm married, and it's like, well, who am I trying to impress? Like, do I want it for me? Do I want it for other people? It's kind of hard to really justify it at this point. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Like, and I think that's why if I got something, it would have to be for myself, and it would have to be something that is non-changeable. Like, because I know people get like, loved ones' names, like family members. Because family members don't. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, have you seen this show? I don't know if you watch any MTV, but...
is that still around? I feel like that was
it's still
like early 2000s.
No, it's still around, dude. And they've got a show. You can watch like clips of it on YouTube. It's called Just the Two of Us. And it's a show. And God, you could say shows are set up and whatnot, but these tattoos are real as fuck. Like, they're not faking these tats. Basically... two friends or whoever that they know each other, they agree to go on the show. They go in, and they choose different tattoos for their friends, but their friends don't get to see them until they're on them. So the reveal is when they show them on them. And I encourage anyone to watch it up. There's been some fucking heinous tattoos, dude.
Really?
One of them, a girl tattooed right like under another girl's crotch on her inner thigh, a bloody tampon.
Ooh.
Because she's got like a heavy flow or something, or she bled in a friend's bed at her sleep. Some crazy, horrible shit like that. And she got like a tattoo of, and there's ones where they've got, there was one where it's like shit dripping down someone's leg.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's like like they're trolling each other.
Yeah.
Is that what it's?
Yeah.
The point of it
but
is?
sometimes there's ones where they don't troll each other, and they're just really nice, happy ones, and you're like, that is so boring. Why am I watching this show? I'm like, I want to watch
not reality drama.
I want to watch someone's life get ruined in front of my very eyes. But this is, it's like, okay, this is the point where people are willing to go on a show and pretty much know that their friend's probably gonna fuck them over. And the drama that comes out of it, dude. It's crazy. The things that people put on themselves. Some guy put on the backs of his friend's calves, like, to make it look like it was pink ribbon all the way down the back of his calf, like a nice little bow, like saying more that maybe a female would get. No shade to a guy that wants to get
like a dancer or something that someone had like lace up dancing shoes.
Really pretty. And he's like, well, I can never wear shorts again. I'm like, yeah, look at you. How are you going to cover that shit up? And also the cost and time of getting that removed, because they were thick colored tattoos. Good fucking luck, dude. And so Mikey says in the chat, says they get paid a lot for all the bad tattoos. You'd fucking hope so, because what is the motivation? And it's like, people are crazy, dude. The things people do for money, like a little bit of money, is
like, it's like
insane.
reality TV, right? Like if you look at like maths, like that seems to be like, like Australia phenomenon. Like every episode, like because Em likes to watch it. Every episode, I do watch this.
Well,
but see, people do. Like, and I was working on this job site with all these builders, and they're knocking off at 5:30 to go home and watch maths.
Yeah,
or it's like
Married
at
First Sight for anyone playing at home. Married at First Sight. Yeah,
Married at First Sight. It's like this Aussie reality TV show where
I believe it's
two strangers get married.
Yeah,
off the bat.
It actually started off as an American program.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, started off as American. So, but I believe that Australian Married at First Sight has escalated the drama, because back in the day, watching Married at First Sight, the American version, it was a little bit boring for me. Tay used to watch it, and I'd sit there and watch it, but I thought, this is so boring, dude. Like, they'd have a little tiff here and there, but you'd be like, I don't want to see these people succeed. This is boring. If I want to see these people succeed, I just like walk in my house and go say hi to my mates, like, or something. You know, like, oh, that's mushy Matt. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to, when I'm sitting down watching TV, I want to see something I haven't seen before. I want to be kind of like shocked. I want to be stimulated. And and that's the thing, right? That TV knows that. They know they need to be pushing the boundaries at this point, because they're competition now. They've got games, they've got internet. They've got to really step TV's a dying medium. Television production.
They rely on advertisements. It's like radio, because like podcasts are absolutely taking over radio for sure. Like,
hell yeah.
I don't listen to commercial radio at all.
No, me neither.
Always podcasts. Like, because you can download them, you can pause them, you can rewind them.
Well, back in the day as well, people didn't have the choice of listening to podcasts or just whatever they wanted in the car. They're pretty much at the mercy of maybe how many CDs or cassette tapes they had in the back of their car.
Big CD book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or what's on the radio. But now they have so many options. So why are they going to pick your radio station, which isn't, of course, the only radio station as well? There's also a lot of radio stations to choose from.
Tons.
So you're a little speck in like a massive universe of content. No matter where you are now, no matter where your listener is or viewer is around the world, what they're doing at any time, you are in direct competition with so much media. Not just now the media of your craft, essentially. So it's like,
definitely.
Wow,
it's a whole other medium. And it's like it's stronger because you can pause it, you can rewind it. It's like it's sort of like free speech. People aren't getting paid to like not say certain things.
That's it.
It's open, it's honest.
I mean, I wonder if it's going to get to a point. I talk about the protection, well, the policing of the internet. I wonder sometimes, like, well, how long do we have till we are under the thumb, essentially, of what we can and can't say on a podcast? Because even YouTube's going down the way of, well, hey, you won't get paid if you say even like shit or saying in your video. You know what I mean? The demonetization.
You get flagged and demonetized.
Yeah, and I'm like, like how are we going with this? You know?
Yeah, I think podcast seems like because it's quite independent. Like you're recording literally a file and uploading it to the internet. And if you had sponsors, you'd have like independent. I imagine you'd have independent sponsors, like say, Nappy Send says, "Hey, Matty, come bloody! I want you to advertise our cleaning product."
I was gonna say, like, I wear their talc and powder in my nappies every day, but yeah, it's not just for that, is it? Yeah,
that's
it's probably
right.
where it started or something, but yeah, because they But I get what
so
you're
as long
saying.
as, because like you know Joe Rogan Experience.
100%, I know Joe Rogan, big inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I listen to him all the time. And so like he's like the epitome of free speech.
Yeah.
Like and he has like lots of sponsors, and I'm sure he makes very good money from it.
Yeah.
But like,
and it's like, how do you think that is? How do you think he can manage to have so much open conversation about so many things that might be seen as controversial, yet so many people are willing to give him money to promote their product through that? Because you see then in so many other mediums that everyone's so scared of, like, YouTube and TV and radio. They're so scared of what might be said that it will turn off sponsors. Obviously, it's because of sponsors that they try and police it. But it's like, and also there are boards essentially, aren't there? There's boards that say what can and can't be shown on TV, and
for sure,
so,
there'd be like,
there's that as well. And it's like, well, how long till that kind of shit comes up on the internet and we're regulated? I mean, we're already seeing even by Europe, the EU, Article 13, and it's essentially going to block them out from. I haven't delved. I got to really do my research on this and delve in, because it sounds even more serious than I could ever imagine. And I think a lot of us, because we're like not in the EU, don't really. We're just like, okay, well, sucks for them. But I feel like I go a deep dive on this, because this is going to probably start as time goes on, a bigger and bigger topic as we get closer to them potentially having it pass through. I mean, it's already been passed essentially, but now it's getting implemented, and it still could be turned over down the track. So it's one of those things. But having stuff like that happen, it's like, okay, well, is this the death of free internet? And it's like, yeah, you say podcasts are independent and all that, but do you think there's a lifespan on independent podcasts? Do you think, like, and stuff like that, do you think we're eventually going to have a license to broadcast on the internet as you do on anything else? Do you think do you think people are going to be blocked out from starting from doing that stuff? Because there's going to be so much, like having, if you want a show on TV, you have to pitch it to a TV station or a production company or whatnot, and they have to give the okay, and you're at their mercy essentially of what you can keep in and out of the show, or how it needs to kind of go. And I kind of think, will we as independents eventually, is there potential to go that way, do you reckon?
I wonder how they'd police it. Like, because say, there's 20 million people in Australia. Like, do you have to have a special internet license to upload stuff?
Well,
like, because essentially you could upload the podcast to your own website, so it's your own space that you pay for. I
mean, because obviously we've got VPNs which allow you to kind of trick your internet into thinking you're somewhere else around the world and whatnot. I would not be surprised if VPNs eventually are seen as like an illegal practice. Because I just know how the world fucking works, and how money makes the world work, and how money can sometimes bring on, obviously, like we said, like a lot of things, shows are watered down, and music's, like, productions are watered down because of advertising and whatnot. But it's like, I think VPNs could be seen as illegal one day, and it'll be a country by country basis. Like the EU essentially is being blocked out of a lot of things. I mean, it's like, well, what's to stop them using a VPN? Are they going to make VPNs over there illegal? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like if someone catches someone on Twitch streaming and it becomes a thing where they're not supposed to be streaming a certain way, or I don't really fully know how it works. I don't know if it's just to do with, I think here's what it is. I believe what this is it's really cracking down on ownership of, like a protection of your like, say, music and whatnot, your intellectual property. Is that what it would be? So because they're cracking down the EU of what's that term? Like opposite of royalty free, copyrighted stuff. You know what I mean? Like copyrighted media. God,
Yes.
it's like so hard to think about that. Why is that so hard? Like copyright media, and they're cracking down on that kind of shit and being able to use it in your own stuff. But I think the thing is Twitch, the reason is they're still allowed to put stuff up, but I think Twitch is saying it would be too hard for Twitch to manage, because obviously it could get Twitch in a lot of trouble is what's happening. Because now they're really under watch by a whole country or a region, you know, the EU.
Content,
so they're like, well, I guess we won't be able to have any of the EU streaming on our platform. It's too dangerous because it could then lead to some severe consequences for Twitch in general. Same with YouTube. So I think that is the overall, and people can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think that's the overall kind of vibe that I'm getting on this whole Article 13 thing. I think, well, is this the beginning of the end? Where I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we have to host our own things on it, like maybe Twitch and YouTube won't be able to exist because it's too dangerous. They can't be allowed to exist.
I feel like there has to be some like. I feel like it's going to go full circle. Like, because I think so. I honestly have. I've looked into Article 13 almost zero. You know, like I know, such a little amount about it. But I feel like just like patterns in history and just like the way things go, like they go so far one way, they end up on the other side again. Yeah. And then like there's kind of like a freedom, like a breakthrough, or a natural revolt or something. Yeah. So I feel like, I feel like it'll go so far before it will bounce back. But I don't know what it will look like. I
mean, it's almost like what I kind of believe will happen with a lot of the political correctness movements, which I think a lot of them are great. I think a lot of things do need to change, but a lot of people then push their luck a little bit with certain things, and they kind of make everyone try and conform to what they believe, small minorities. And I do believe at the moment we're all very scared to speak our mind on certain things, because if in case of the backlash of the small minority to come with their pitchforks and torches and burn our houses down. But I think in ways that I'm seeing already the revolt of that. People are starting to go, no, fuck this. I'm going to just talk on it. I'm just going to say, no, fuck it. I'm just going to say it on Twitter. I don't care anymore. People are getting over it. And whether that's right or wrong is another story. It's the fact that it's starting to go full circle. Me Too movements where before everyone took word on that, but now people are going, hold on, if someone accuses a guy of these accusations, maybe we shouldn't just fire him just for an accusation. Maybe we should just burn his whole life down because of it. And it's like, a lot of these things that are happening on the internet, I think will come full circle in a way. And I in a way, I hope they do, because I think some things need review. I think we shouldn't just have one kind of moment of like, this is how it should be. And then everyone goes, okay, I'm too scared to say anything. And that happens. I think certain things do need review over time, maybe to just see how we're tracking with it. Because I think at the moment we're all in this very scared internet phase, and you might agree with this or might not, but a lot of us are too scared to kind of speak our mind because of just the fact that it can lead to just the end of your backlash. Career in any and I think it's got to get to a point where where people are able to voice their opinions, even if they're not seen as the right opinion. I think, you know what I mean? I think things like that need to come full circle. I don't know if you agree on it, but
I agree for sure. Like, I think that is probably that's like the best example of going so far left, you end up back on the right. Like, literally the full circle. You go so far, because you go like, initially like you start, like we want to be like, it could be anything. We want to be called this and not that, and like, and then it goes and it escalates. If you don't call us this, then you'll get fired. Then it escalates again. So then that like starts to limit free speech, which is the whole movement, which was why they started. So
exactly.
And then it does go all the way around.
Yeah, the thing I always find funny is and there's no shade thrown to any minorities at all in this. I'm not going after any particular minority. I'm just saying when there's a minority and they're fighting for what they believe and they're fighting for equal rights in certain ways, or just for things to be worded a certain way, right? And they're like, we want equality. But then someone speaks against their equality, and they just go in on that person, dehumanize them, bring them down, try and get them fired from their job. And I kind of go, is that equality? Because you're both on two sides of the coins. You both have your beliefs. Is shaming someone for their belief in the matter, even if it's wrong, is that lining up with your sense of equality? Because you know what I mean? Or free speech, or do you know what I mean? Like, they're fighting for their thing, and they want to have their voices heard, but then they don't want everyone else's voice to be heard. How can you ask for your voice to be heard if you're not willing to hear other people's voice to be heard? How can you? It sounds a bit out of touch in a way.
Yeah, it's very illogical. Like, yeah,
Illogical is the word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very illogical. Like, you can't, ask for one thing but do another.
Exactly. Like, you can't
lead by example. Is what you need to do.
Yeah,
really.
and I think that's the problem we're facing at the moment, is that we can't have conversations about it. That's a big thing. We can't have conversations about it.
You can't even say the word.
We just can't discuss with the two sides. Can't get together and just have a discussion. Someone says they don't agree, and they're instantly ridiculed from Earth because they disagree. But isn't it more productive to listen to both sides and have an open mind, and that way maybe you can push your movement even further, because you're listening to what these people are saying that you don't agree with, and use that at least to go, all right, well, then they're saying, but they don't even want to hear it. They're just assuming now that people are fighting against their cause. I think it just would be a lot better if we just listen to each other's, causes and opinions, and we go off that instead of just going, no, this person immediately disagreed with me, so therefore I will screenshot when they liked a tweet and get them fired, which I still think is ridiculous. That shit is just blowing my mind at this point. Why not hit them up and say, why do you disagree? Why not have a discussion? Why do we need to go straight to? And that's what I'm saying. These people are fighting for their freedom of speech and their rights, but at the same time, they're so quick to fuck off everyone else's rights. And I'm not picking apart. I have no minority in mind when I say this. I really don't, because it's actually. But
it does happen.
It's a lot. It's a lot of minorities, and I have no problem with minorities. I think everyone deserves their equal chance to have to be to have their voices heard and to be treated fair. But I think the way we're going about it is so wrong. I think I get it. We have to be, but people. I think people likened it to like. It's when people feel like they have to that when they talk louder, they're winning the argument. The people in the room
so they make lots of noise when something goes against their opinion or their thoughts,
and they get louder and louder and louder, and somehow that makes them feel like they're winning because they're being louder. But it doesn't make your voice any more logical or heard. Sometimes it might distort your voice. It might distort your cause, and I think that's kind of the trouble we're having at the moment. Because a lot of people are now going, well, fuck these causes. I'm sick of hearing them yelling at me and treating me like, like the whole thing where people, I heard saying on, this could be something that people flame me for, but no, it's not, because it's not my opinion. It's something something I acknowledged on Twitter, or I noticed. Someone put up a tweet about something happened the other day. I think it was, this is something that happened on Twitch, and I looked into it. Some guy was streaming. He's not a big streamer. He had 140 or under 150 followers. And I think he had maybe about 11 or so viewers. I couldn't see the view count because I was watching the VODs. Somehow his account was still up because he was spurting some sort of slight hate speech. But I saw a few people on Twitter kind of hinting at that something had happened on Twitch. And I can imagine one person outed them. Just one person straight up said, this person needs to be outed. They need to be reported. They're being... Basically, when he does a young lady stream, they're playing Diablo, and I think something about he added her on Blizzard, she added him back, she added Twitch in her name or something. So into a Twitch account, she has some sort of disease. She has some sort of visible impairment or something. It had a long name. I can't remember what it is. But he went there and he I believe was making fun. I didn't get through the whole VOD, but he was taking the piss out of her definitely, and he was definitely causing issues within her stream. His community was going around and talking a bit of shit. And then when someone came over to his stream to say, hey, we're not cool with that, can you please stop? He was kind of just really pushing it like he'd ban him and go, no, fuck off, you know what I mean? But he was laughing at he had a real larrikin sense about him. He sounded malicious in ways, but in the ways he really masked it with just that larrikin sense of laughing and just being kind of happy and whatnot. But this streamer that put up on Twitter and outed him, he put up a whole bunch of chat logs straight to her where another guy in this guy's stream was just being abusive in chat and whatnot. The thing is, I'm trying to think of what the point I'm bringing this. Oh yeah. So I saw another streamer's wife put up a tweet, and she wrote what was it? It was something like, sick of seeing people treat other people like this, blah, 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 blah. And there was a hashtag in there, and it was something, oh, fuck, I should have written it down. It was something along the lines of, to do with, white males being a problem? Can white males stop being a problem, or stop being such an issue? White males, something like that. It was real like, and I straight away saw that hashtag and I was like, I get it. Like there's white males that cause shit. There's people there's people from all different walks of life that cause shit. That's why I'm kind of confused. Why is it that people are jumping down? Because I get it, because maybe we don't have as much struggle, seen as not having as much struggle as other minorities, and we're kind of maybe seen as being the most prosperous in ways of opportunity. But I just, people did count a few people in that kind of like white males, what's the go? And I just thought it was so odd that because of that one guy that was causing shit, we got lumped into that. But the people that then kind of disagreed with the white male thing, a bunch of people would be like, yeah, white males, you got a problem? Because you are, like, it was kind of like, and I was thinking, why is this a thing? Like, but then if a white male reacts and goes, hey, like, I think that's a bit unfair, and then someone snaps back at him, you're not hearing their side of the court, like the claim, like, you know what I mean? Like,
people jump to sides really quickly.
Yeah, and it's like, so why can't we hear people out? Why do we have to just be jumping down everyone's throats as soon as they disagree with us? And I think that's the part that needs to change, because it's just, yeah, it's a shame. I think it's a shame the way internet culture has kind of spun it and giving people a voice to just yell at everyone if you don't like what they say. And I hope that it comes to a point where it does go full circle and we can have just civil conversations about the matter. Because I think at the end of the day, we're all human. We probably won't ever have that. But I hope people get over the shit talking side of it.
Yeah, me too, man. 100%. Like, I believe, like, every single person is just you living a different story. Like, so they wake up in the morning and they're anxious about, anxious about going to work, or everyone's got the same little battles. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I first thought of this. Like, we were driving in a car, and when you're on the road, you pass hundreds of cars go past.
Yeah,
and everyone's in their own little capsule going from A to B, and they're all in their own little story, or they got their own worries. They're late for work or whatever it might be. They've got kids on the way. There's just like there's capsules of stories everywhere, and
100%. Yeah, and it's so easy to forget about that. You get so caught up in your own little bubble, your bubble in your own little world. It is very easy to forget that there's so much going on around the world. It's the thing. I think it's just having, I guess, maybe a bit of consideration for your fellow man, and not lumping people so much into baskets of groups at times. I think we have to maybe break people down as more than just always stuck in a group. And people should be treated, in my opinion, as an individual case-by-case basis. Let them lead by their own actions. I kind of just get a bit over people throwing people into groups. If that person wants to be in a group, sure, but involuntarily thrown into a group. It's even like racism in any way of any
it's
group.
Generalization.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Yeah, people just generalizing one person into the whole group, even though they may not even be there. They just see the connection online, and suddenly they get lumped into it. And
isn't it funny that from generalization and fighting to not be generalized, people are now generalizing other people?
Yeah, that's right.
Is the mind-blowing part of it. So that's the part that trips me out. I don't know. There's no real answer to the end of this conversation, because it's a still ongoing topic, but it's one of those things that
giving air to it is good, I think, though, because it just makes people think about it.
Yeah,
I wonder if it has anything to do with when you're in the conflict of arguing your point, or standing up for your minority or whatever it might be. If that time of conflict is when you're looking for people to jump on your team, and you want people on your team in that conflict, because we need warriors to help fight alongside you, so people will gravitate towards that. That battle, and they'll jump on that side, which could even fuel the flames. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there's a saying, and I need to look it up because I always go to say it and I don't fucking remember it, but it's something like you get more bears with honey or something like that. But then bears, do you want bears? Because bears will probably rip you to shreds once they get to the honey. But
I already got called a bear earlier.
Exactly, more bears. You get more bears with honey, baby.
You'll be good. You can look around.
It's there's a saying like that though, and it's true. You're going to get
honey than vinegar or something. Yeah.
Yes, something like
more
that.
More flies with more bees. You catch a bee with honey, not vinegar, or
something like that. You get more people on your side by being just essentially more. But at the same time, people go, yeah, but being sweet's probably seen as fake. You need to be. So it's hard. It's a hard balance. But yeah, it's one of those things. I look forward to it won't ever have a conclusion. I don't believe it will, but I look forward to seeing where it all goes and if it implodes on itself like I expect it might do. Just seeing how it's starting to go with people fighting back a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how we got onto it, but it seems like that's, like I say, when topics go a bit more like this sometimes on the podcast, it's because it is so much what the internet is at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of how it is. Look, the thing is, we've been going for I don't know how long now. Long damn time, and I only just realized because I'm having a fucking good chat. And I want to know how long have you're probably well over time.
Oh man, I've got nowhere to be.
Really? All right, let's do a couple more kind of on-topic things about you because I'm more interested. I'm so sorry I've steered it away from that so much today.
No way.
Because it's just gone into so many like interesting topics, and I hope you haven't minded because I feel kind of like.
Man.
I think there's guaranteed got to be a part 2 with Dan. There's got to be a part 2, dude. Because
I'm DTF, man. I'm ready.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, man. Yeah, I'll have to get you on again as well for more talk about stuff because I feel like we could talk about a whole bunch of other topics and situations and blah blah, just everything. But
yes, agreed.
I mean, I have asked about a lot of things in a way. One thing I definitely didn't want to not ask.
Okay, I'm very interested what this might be.
I hope this is interesting when you hear it. How's your phone?
Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. Thanks.
How'd it go after dunking it underwater in your pool? Because I watched this live stream. Now you do a shit ton of IRL stuff, and I want to get into a bit of that as well. The balance of IRL versus gameplay on Twitch.
That's a bloody good point.
One of the things that I saw you do is look. What brand is your phone? It wasn't one that I really fully knew.
Let's just say it's a Schmapple Schmyphone.
Wait, is it really an iPhone?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 10. Yeah,
it's
they're waterproof up to like a meter or something, or water resistant to a meter.
So water resistant, I believe, is what they use. So yeah, I was paranoid as fuck when I saw you do. So you were outside. It was a nice summer day. You had your phone. Yeah. You were live streaming, and you're like, my new phone, I believe, is water resistant. So let's try it out. So you jumped in your pool, and you were just no protection, dunking that motherfucker right down under it. I'm like, no. But the problem was, and I learned something very like. Not inside, but something very interesting that day. Yeah. That Wi-Fi and 4G doesn't work underwater. Which
Zero
is insane.
function underwater.
The second it goes under that thin layer of water, it just cut out. And it was the most amazing. I looked it up. I then started looking into it while you were streaming because I think I actually typed as well. I was like, I just looked it up. Apparently it's the thing. Because you were like, why is it cutting out? We're like, everyone in the chat was like, what the fuck is going on? Which is so crazy. Like, that was such a science moment. Like,
I know, right?
Yeah.
I can just imagine people in the future wearing fish tanks on their head to stop, like, the alien Wi-Fi getting to them.
Oh, my God. I haven't even thought of that. People wearing, like, a weird fishbowl contraption filled with water and a bubble inside of that. Yeah. Well, with the current... the 5G coming onto the market soon. I don't know if you've done any research on 5G.
Zero.
Okay, 5G coming on the market. It's supposed to be a lot faster than 4G, but everyone's crying out saying do not release it because it's seen as a carcinogenic. It can actually have really adverse health.
Really? What if it's true?
I believe
because like people were like that with mobile phones too. Like mobile phones, you'll get dick cancer, boy.
Well, but are we not?
Well, I don't think I have it.
Yeah, but you could breathe. You could be in a room of asbestos and not come out with lung cancer.
So some people are more susceptible.
I believe so. I don't think mobile phones are causing. Well, the thing is, surely in ways we probably are. We wouldn't know. A lot of this technology is new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the case?
Like 50 years, over 50 years or something.
They didn't know asbestos was dangerous for how long? And all of a sudden, now it's like, holy shit, buried underground, do not touch it, remove it. And people are like, shit, people are now coming out with like, well, I'm fucked. I have some form of lung cancer or holes in my lungs.
Asbestosis, yeah.
Is that what it is? Asbestosis. So
yeah, it's like emphysema. I think your lungs just like turn into honeycomb
which is
and die.
Fucking horrific.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Because people were, as kids, my dad doesn't have it, but he tells me stories when he'd be out in open fields because he was a farm boy. be out in open fields, and his friends and him would find asbestos lying around, just sheets of it, because, you know, from ex-building sites, and they'd be snapping it and throwing it at their friends, just pegging it at their friends.
Yeah, just playing with it.
Just snapping it open, shit prey spores going everywhere. And it's like, and now we know, after a long fucking time, that holy shit, this stuff will kill you. So how do we not know after a short, like, mobile phones haven't been a thing for that long. So what's the case study on them?
Yeah, like what will it look like in like 30 years?
So when people are like, yeah, but are we dead yet? No, we're not. But how do we know that when we get to 60, we're going to go, oh shit, this is caused, and then it takes time to link it to that. It's like we don't know what's health risks. But the thing is that we have these fucking waves flying around all over, like 4G waves, Wi-Fi waves, all this shit.
Radio, everything.
Yeah, like, and you think, we can't see, we don't know what the damage is at the moment, but they did. So of course, companies are going to release 5G as quick as they can because they want to give faster speeds because they know that equals more money, and it comes around to making money, not really having the full clarity of the effects down the track.
Yeah.
But they're looking at, but essentially, people have done their own, like smaller labs, I believe, have done their own tests with I think rats and whatnot. And they've seen that rats have died, or I believe had some really terrible effects due to being subject to 5G waves. But people don't seem to, but the people trying to sell this to us don't seem to give a shit. But if you look on, say if you, okay, I encourage you, if you're on like on Instagram, anyone that's listening to this, if you're on Instagram saying, if you see like an ad for Telstra or perhaps any mobile provider that is in your area, and they say, hey, 5G is coming to you soon, look at the comments, and you'll most probably see most people in those comments saying, keep that shit out of my country. A lot of people seem to be aware of it. Not a lot of people going, yeah, I can't wait to download my Netflix movies quicker, or this and this. A lot of people speaking out against it. So you got to think, people don't always cry out for no reason. There's got to be some form of reason that suspicion, because you think, why would someone not want 5G? It's faster, it's better. Why would someone try and act like it? How would it get widespread to be an issue? So there's obviously been tests done to prove it to some degree. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'd have to. Yeah, I haven't heard of those negative repercussions.
I encourage you to look into it. It's interesting for sure.
It'd be interesting to see if there was actual papers on it in Google Scholar or something.
Yeah.
Like if there was actual scientific papers.
I didn't know Google Scholar was a thing.
Yeah, so I learned that from Dr. Carl on Triple J. He always references
Can I just say,
Google Scholar.
I would love one day. I know this is like just out of like my I would love to have Dr. Carl on here one day.
Be ambitious, Matty. Come on, man.
Oh, 100%. I don't rule it out. That's for sure. I was thinking about it in the shower the other day. I was like, man, Dr. Carl, he'd be amazing. And he is the type of guy I believe would be more open to ideas of that. Because he's just so keen to teach and to answer questions and to even explore his own curiosity by being asked questions. You see on Triple J when he gets asked questions that he doesn't fully know, but he's like, I'm so ready to go look that up. Like, and he's got a curious mind.
I'll put it on Twitter later. Or
yeah, exactly. And I think, man, he'd be amazing to have on one day and just ask him so many questions. I'd probably be annoying at that point.
No way. I'm sure he'd love to, rain knowledge on you. But Matty, it's only a matter of time till he's on. Every second goes by, second per second. That's 1 second closer for Dr. Carl. Matty.
That's it, man. That's it.
It's only a mere days away. It's a count of days. He doesn't even know it. He's about to be bloody pulled in. He's about to become the victim to the MattyAP cast.
I have to admit, already some of the people that I've asked to be on the show soon have been maybe a bit of an ambitious ask, and I've had people interested. I'm like, holy shit! Like, you don't know until. That's the thing. You do have to in ways be confident and believe in what you're doing, and say, well, hopefully they believe in it too. And it's like,
start with Dr. Phil, then you'll get Dr. Carl.
Oh, wait, you reckon Dr. Phil more than Dr. Carl?
Oh, yeah, get him in first. Get everything done with before Dr. Carl.
Yeah. Man, Dr. Phil would be an interesting discussion.
Dude,
that's
it'd be nuts.
For sure.
It'd be nuts.
Oh, Unisaw here says, I read that 5G will be banned from Huawei phones. I never know how to say that, which is what I have.
Huawei, I think it is.
Huawei, that's the one. If I've learned anything from Unbox Therapy, it should be that. Huawei, how to say it. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes we've got to open our eyes, sheeple, And I guess, I don't know. I sound like a real conspiracy theorist. I'm really not.
Sheeple sounds like it. That word. Sheeple? That sounds like the biggest conspiracy theorist word ever.
Yeah. And then you turn away and you look back and I'm in my tinfoil hat. Look, I think I just have a real curiosity with that stuff. Whether I believe it or not in ways. I mean, I won't spout out that I believe it if I don't. But if I have some form of belief, I kind of go, okay. Well, we still kind of got onto our conspiracy and shit, even though we talked about you dunking your phone in water, and that's and I think you're to blame on this one because you were like, oh, but that's a great way to block out the thing. So you fucking got me again. It's your fault this time.
Oh no, I fired the Matty conspiracy wagon.
I know. I'm so sorry. I've done it to you. Okay. So you put your phone underwater. So you've done stuff like that, and I thought that was so interesting to you and brave soul. I would have never.
It took a lot of cojones, sir. Like I was hesitating for hours.
Yeah, I believe it did because I saw you were a little bit nervous, but you were so curious. Like, is this going to work? And I saw you just wanted to do it. Was there any repercussions? That's why when I did it work, did your phone stay perfect?
Long-term perfect, yes. Short-term issues. So the only way I was able to actually capture the underwater like stream was to hold the camera lens underwater and have the rest of the phone out of the water.
Oh, no way.
So that way the actual camera could capture some under the water footage, you know? And then, but then like later on, I plugged my phone into charge. Like I dried it off. It looked okay. Like, but when I plugged it in, there was water like deep up in the charge port. It was deep up in there.
Way.
So I was plugging it in and it wasn't charging. I'm like, what? And when I pulled the bloody...
And thinking about electricity mixed with water stuffed up like in a thing and trying to... The electricity... It sounds dangerous.
Well, probably not so dangerous to the user, more like possibly dangerous to your phone if it like shorts the charging port or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't charging, and when I pulled the charge port out, it was wet. I'm like, the cord, so you know this little bad boy, the lightning cable. So I'm like, ugh. So I hair dried it, like where there was a hair dryer at the accommodation. So I hair dried that charge port for like a solid 5 minutes. My phone was like as hot as a CPU, man. It was like 95 degrees because there's no heatsink on this bitch. It's just me holding it, sir.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I let it sit for like 2 hours, and then like I plugged it in, and it was fine. It was fine. It was charging fine.
And that was the only short-term thing, or?
Yeah, there's been no issues since.
Right.
But like at the time, I'm like, you know, like crap. I didn't know how long it was going to last for. It could have been permanent, you know.
Yeah, that was a bit scary. You're probably regretting it.
I'm like, oh, what have I done?
The science.
Yeah, that's right. Like, well, I've only got 40% left. That's just an hour with my suite, you know.
I mean, yeah, I know. And it's like, do you think it's kind of bad marketing on iPhone's end to be pushing that? Because I have seen people on YouTube like, here I go, I'm going to dunk my phone in water. And do you think that because obviously you had even just short-term effects, do you think that it's just it's marketing? They're like trying to outbeat everyone. They're like, no, any water dude, just throw it on it. But they're just doing like they're trying to get you in. But really, like surely that's had some backlash at this point. With some phones have been fucked up from being thrown in water at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're titled as water resistant, but I don't know if Apple, how much they push you can actually go underwater.
But then they have surely marketing. I swear I've seen where the phone's like just kind of submerging in the water. I'm like,
yeah. And I think like the definition is like, you know, for like up to half an hour, up to 20 minutes, it can be a meter under.
Yeah.
And then like it worked fine, but just the trouble with like the charging port and whatnot. Like, so it's probably a bit misleading because like I didn't expect that to be an issue.
No,
but it makes sense that it's an issue because it's like it's an internal little port.
Yeah,
that would hold the water.
It's funny, right? Because when I was young, one of my first phones I ever had was like something like a Nokia 3310. Like there's really shitty ones you can play Snake on it. That's like the level I was at. Yeah. And I was going to church like a good Christian boy as a child, and I was running up the stairs to go to the building, and it was raining, so I was running. And I had my phone in my hand, but I kind of, because I'm a stupid kid that drops everything. You know, kids, they drop everything. Kids. But my phone flew out of my hand somehow and landed on the most narrow little puddle on the stairs. Barely anything. Not a deep puddle, just a little, just and it got a bit of splash on it. My phone died. My phone fucking died. It was making this sizzling noise. It was like...
Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah, when I got into church, because it was all, you know, everyone's praying and shit, I guess, but I could hear it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And it died. And I was like, it barely got any water. Now we've got phones that do so much more, and they can be like dunked underwater.
You can put them underwater and there's open ports and everything. Like old phones were like a sieve, water just like one drop touched the bloody screen and the whole thing combusted, man. It was like a sieve.
Yeah,
dude.
and it's like, but we talk about how much more robust technology was, like phones and stuff back in the day. You drop a phone, it would smash, but god damn, you get a couple of drops on that MFR and it's dead. And it's kind of wild. I mean, but then again, now they've traded now everything's made out of glass and you drop it on like carpet, or you throw it on your bed and it just shatters into a million pieces.
Yeah, that's right, because the front and back of my phone are both glass like panels. Yeah. So if you're it's so expensive if you damage it.
I mean, that's it. Most people I hear that smash their screen, they don't get repaired because it's too much money. I've never had a screen replaced on a phone because it's too much. I guess it's because it's like the capacitive touch screen. Perhaps I would have thought it would only been the outer layer of it. I don't even know, but.
So I've got a friend that's what he has a business where he like fixes mobile phones and tablets.
Oh, lucrative.
Yeah, he's doing rather well. And he's like, so it depends on the phone. I think with new phones it's different, but I think he got into business like when iPhone 3s and 4s were around. 2012 or 2013 or whatever it was. Yeah. And like some of them you'd actually just replace the glass on top, but some you'd have to replace the screen underneath.
Yeah.
But now a lot of them are like integrated. It's all like one piece as well.
And that's why it costs so much, because it's all, right.
Correct. So like just the glass could be like maybe 100 or 150, but when you have to do the screen, it's like double or triple. Yeah,
which is at the point where it's like, well, may as well throw this out and get a new phone. And that's why I see so many people just walking around with cracked screens, because it's like, well, why would I keep my shit wrapped. I don't know if you can see. I keep protection on me at all times, because I've smashed every phone I've had up until this point, and I swapped over from Apple to Samsung, and I started to feel a sense of ownership and respect for the brand I actually was with. So I actually thought I might protect it for once. No hate, wink, wink to Apple, but. I do think they're a dying brand, but that's all right. Another topic for another day. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. We can quickly, like, are you an Apple fanboy in ways? Like,
no, yes and no. So I started off when I was 21 in 2011. My sister gave me an iPhone 3GS for my 21st birthday.
Wow. And
that's when I first got a smartphone. So that was 2011, and already then I was behind the 8-ball of smartphones.
Yeah, right.
Like all my friends had one, and I had this phone from Telstra. It was like the brand was Telstra, and it had a little aerial I popped up. And I was like, mate, it was the chick magnet, sir. Like I put the phone out in the gym, and they'd come run it. No, I was very single. But
I keep falling for it, dude. You're just so honest and believable.
So yeah, I had that, and then I got the smartphone. I'm like, oh, this is very cool, Apple. But then the next phone I got a HTC One X or whatever it is.
Okay, yep.
So I got on the Android. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then I got a Samsung Note 3, and then I went back to the Apple, and then I got another Apple. So I've had both. There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah,
Apple's good at consolidating everything.
Yeah, which
Android's
I don't necessarily
much more freedom.
Yeah, I like the freedom. But also the thing about Apple that I think is it's just once Steve Jobs died, the innovations just seemed to die off with him, which sucks. I feel like there hasn't been they're not innovating the way they used to. I feel like the competition has caught up with them. The Android market has caught up with them, and they're just not innovating the way they did. And because it's locking people into their ecosystem, people aren't having that freedom. And yeah, I feel like they're just starting to get behind a little bit. I feel like they might. I could see a second death of Apple. I believe it. I think they already had that come up a while ago, where back in the day where they had the Macs with the colored plastic clear backs and stuff.
Like the year 2000.
Yeah, and
they were the coolest thing in the world.
They were the shit, dude. I wish they brought out a phone with like colored plastic as the back. To be honest, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Something about it, like just like a bit of a homage, if that's the word, to the old. Like I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that, because I think they're like that'd be kind of dope, but. Yeah, I don't know. I can just see like a second coming of like their dip back down to. I think a lot of people have moved over to Android now, but it's just I don't know. I just think you need to be innovating to keep people in your own circle when there's so much option then outside of that to pick from.
Yes. So what I think will happen, I think that they dip, they like peak and trough. Like they dip and they go down, and I think. I think that's just the nature of the competition. So like, Apple might have a bad year or a bad 2 years, and then like Samsung will be killing it. But then Apple will push the pace to innovate harder and then play catch up.
Yeah.
And I think just the nature of competition gives the end users like us the best products.
Exactly. I agree 100%. But even now, Apple decide, I mean, all Android phones, Samsung and what are the other ones? HTC, Huawei, all that
Pixel,
stuff.
all that stuff.
They're all just in competition with each other now. And the best part is about being just more on an Android ecosystem is that you can swap around and it's not so much a consequence. Whereas when you have everything, a lot of people, I believe, are sticking with Apple because same with what Tay said. I said, oh, you should try Android. And she's like, oh, maybe. She complains about her iPhone. But then next minute she's gone and got a new iPhone to replace the one she had. I'm like, what? Yeah. You stuck with it? And she's like, oh, it's just easy. Everything's on there. And it's like, I get it. Like they're clever. They've roped you in. They've roped you into a complete Apple ecosystem. One, because it's convenient in ways, but then two, because it really it locks people in. They knew what they were doing. They do.
They're smart about it. Like, and especially if you have like an Apple computer, like a laptop or a Mac Pro, whatever it is, because Em's got that. That's what she does her photos with. She has what's it called? The desktop version. iMac. Yeah, she has an iMac, and there's AirDrop. AirDrop is probably like such a strength for Apple.
You reckon?
Like it's crazy.
Does Android have anything like that?
I'm not sure if they do, but I know like that's like a big perk because my mate, he has a MacBook laptop computer and an iPhone, and he just airdrops back and forth for uni and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. Because I tried to airdrop once and it didn't work properly. I probably did it completely wrong. But I swear I tried it once and it just actually it was for Tay. Tay was trying to transfer something. I was like, oh, you should be able to use that airdrop thing. I tried it and it just it wasn't as intuitive. And really, it takes this one try that doesn't work to turn someone off. You know what I mean?
It does. It's like, too hard, it didn't work.
Yeah, so it's I don't know why it didn't work for me because it sounds, by what you're saying, it's quite intuitive and easy to use.
Very good. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, that's like a big perk if you have like, computers and phones and tablets that are all Apple, just airdropping between all of them and like, the cloud sync and all that. But there's Dropbox, there's Google Drive for Android and whatnot too.
Oh, that's true.
So,
no, we'll see how it goes. Oh, good luck with your iPhone. Keep it away.
No one's ever said that to me. Good luck with your iPhone.
Oh, really?
That sounds very funny.
Am I showing my allegiance?
I don't know. Maybe.
Look, I was
in my mind, it's no more than just a phone. Like,
yes and no. I don't believe you. I think there's more to it than that. Something about the marketing and the roping people in. And have you done the old cost test on the Apple website of trying to deck out an
test?
Well, I made that up, but where you can go on their website and you can buy an iMac, but you can go on and add every additional part to it on an iMac.
Yeah, like juice up the RAM.
It'll cost you more than a pretty decent car. It'll cost like $20,000 to $30,000 for an iMac.
Really? For like the top of the top, if you like put everything on it.
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
They'll charge like $1,000 for a bit of RAM.
Whoa, that Apple teat is strong, man.
Look into
that Apple breast milk makes people bloody go crazy.
I think they got a little bit ahead of themselves because I don't think it's even quality RAM. I think stuff like that. They thought they were untouchable, and that's the biggest. It's the PUBG syndrome, isn't it? You get to the point where you think you're a little bit untouchable. Then PUBG might have Apple syndrome, but where you think that you're untouchable and you're like, nah, everyone loves us, we're locked in, but you're never untouchable. Never. Like, you always have to be doing new things and keeping the people that have kept your company alive for as long as they have by supporting your products and buying your products. Why do them dirty like that? Same thing. Do you like Top Juice? You know Top Juice? I don't know. I think you have them in Melbourne.
Top Juice. Is that like the cold pressed juices?
No, it's literally just a place that makes juice. It's not fancy, but they make.
I know like Juice Press or something, but I haven't heard of Top Juice.
It started off small, only in a few places, right? Top Juice, and they just make good juice. It's really nothing fancy, but I think it's marketed well.
Yes.
And it started franchise like crazy. In the shopping center near my house, they have 2 of them. And it's not even a big shopping center. I'm like, why do you have 2? But it got really big, right? Like, it's everywhere. You can almost get a Top Juice no matter where you are in Sydney.
Yeah.
And it used to be $8 for a large juice, right? Which I thought was fair because it was a pretty big juice. And lately, they've been getting they started getting like less. The quality of juices seemed like they didn't take as much pride in it, I guess, because the brand was getting business and the quality was just going down. Now, recently, they made the cups not just a little bit smaller, but like the size of the large now is like the size of the medium was.
Yeah, right.
But the price, I think, even went up a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Australia was like, well, fuck that, never buying from it again. And I'm thinking, well, I will be keen to see how long it takes for their company to crash and burn. And I'm not saying that as like a shitty, like, I can't wait to see you burn, I'll spit on your grave. Like, it's literally like, do your... I pretty much, every time I went into that shopping center or wherever I saw one, couldn't go past a good top juice. But I can't justify paying more for less all of a sudden. But I've been so loyal, how they throw it in their customers' faces. And I believe that's really an Apple thing. They have just the prices go up, and I think they're not innovating. And yeah, I think when I saw how much a fully decked out iMac costs, I thought, this is crazy. You're paying for the brand at that point. You're paying for the brand. You're not so much paying for the tech, because you could buy a much cheaper PC, very high end PC, for quite cheaper than probably a medium range iMac.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think there's two things going on. There's sales and there's marketing. Like, we'll start with that juice stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of that's marketing. So you see, like, you know, because it costs a lot more like I've seen it personally in Melbourne, like, you know, a lot of like young mums and like activewear, quite like upper class looking people walking around drinking it. Yeah. And I went in to buy some because I'm like, oh yeah, I need something healthy, give us one of these juices. But it was like $15 for a bottle, you know, for like, you know, 500 ml or whatever it is. And I'm like, I won't be buying this. It was crazy. So that's, the marketing is good. So people like want that image of like, oh, I'm just going for a walk with my pressed juice.
It's crazy,
man. I think my opinion regarding the Apple sales is, I don't know about Apple, but with a lot of sales products, and the idea of sales is you can never sell what you don't have for sale. So they'll have like the iMac, they'll have the nice iMac. But if you want, like, if you're like a really rich person and you want to like just bloody throw every bit of jizz on that bloody iMac,
jizz needs money, of course. But
yeah, like if you just want to throw everything on it and like and just like throw it into the wind.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
like, it's the same as like cars, like, because you can go to like, you know, I think it's like the Range Rover website and build your own Range Rover. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I want bulletproof window. It's like, you know, like you can like put everything on it and it works out to be like, by the way, I don't know if this is true, but it could work out to be like $1 million. You know, but
wouldn't be surprised. Range Rover, yeah, I could imagine you could manage to deck it out in some way or another to get to a point where it's a ridiculous price. But the thing I'm getting at is why then just it's what's up?
Oh, sorry, am I still there?
Yeah.
Sorry, man, all my computer monitors just blinked. All three of them, they just went blink, blink.
Oh, what?
So as long as I'm still here, it's working.
Yeah, you didn't go anywhere, dude. Yeah, you're 100% still here. Holy shit.
I
just saw you looking around like, FBI. They're breaking the door down. The government's here again. We fucked up again. Yeah, Apple. Steve Jobs, he's I don't know if this is offensive to say, he's pretty fucking with your PCs.
They inserted him into the pipeline. He's in the internet pipes. But
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they had tech and they... I know it's conspiracy as shit, but imagine.
Put on your swimming pool hat.
They say Walt Disney is frozen somewhere to be unfrozen one day and brought back to. I'm just saying, Pete. Just saying. Anyway.
But yeah, you can't sell what you don't have for sale. Like, so that's why like generally there's always like the crazy high end expensive option.
Yeah, but still, are people getting scammed in a way by paying all this money for saying that they don't need to pay that much money on? Just for the brand. I mean, the OS isn't even really like groundbreaking anymore. If anything, because here's the thing, I should preface this by saying I was an Apple fanboy. I once was one of them. I had a Mac Pro. It's like a $6,000, I believe, Mac Pro. Ooh. Yeah, it was because and you know, it served me well for a long time, years, because I thought I needed it for video editing. Very clever marketing, because it was like, oh, it's for creatives.
And a lot of creatives have them anyway, so you just want to be part of it.
Exactly.
Group.
And at TAFE, they used Macs, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And and they were starting to lead the charge with phones and stuff like that shortly after. So I was like, okay, and my first smartphone, naturally, iPhone. You know, I have an Apple computer. Why not get an Apple phone? Everyone's raving about Apple phones, and I loved it. I had plenty of iPhones, And I thought it was pretty good, but it's slowly over time I was like, the update seemed to ruin everything. My phones, every phone had a real issue, multiple issues per phone, where I was like, the quality of this is terrible. And I didn't know if Android was any better. I did not know if a Samsung phone was going to be better. Every single phone. I know some people get iPhones and they last forever and they never have problems, but every single iPhone I had a fair few of them. Every single one had multiple, not even just one problem per phone, multiple. Like the speaker wouldn't work, it wouldn't charge, the screen had issues, like a whole bunch of weird shit. To me, where I'm like, why am I paying for this supposed premium product when I'm getting nothing but a subpar product at the end? And surely, like when you have that many bad results and keep going back, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over without changing results, some shit like that. And I kept doing it. So
having the same expectations without changing the input.
That's the one. So I got to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to try Android. Not a single problem. Not a single. And I've been with them for like 2 years now. And it's like, and I go, well, shit, why? And also, of course, with Apple, I couldn't play a lot of games on the PCs.
That's a big problem.
And I started streaming, and I got to a point where I'm like, this PC is very old now. Like, I mean, this Mac Pro is very old. It needs an upgrade. Maybe I'll just go straight to. And I'd had a lot of things I started not liking about it, updates and the interface and the limitations they put on you. You pay a lot, but you're also kind of limited to a lot of what you can do. They don't like you fucking with their shit.
Yeah, for sure. That's a pro and a con for people.
Yeah, for maybe someone that doesn't want to be confused by options and whatnot and have a more streamlined experience, I get it. But then for someone like when I had an iPhone, I wanted to stream playing Pokemon Go. And I couldn't because iPhones wouldn't let you screen capture what you're doing and stream it. They don't want you being able to stream what's on your screen. I don't know why, but they're very... But everyone with their fucking Android phones was going around making all this sweet viewage cheddar.
Catching the sweet Charizards.
Yeah, and everyone's watching them because it's the hot thing. I tried... Do you know what I did? I tried to make vlogs with a DSLR because I got a big 5D Mark II with a big bulky lens. I rode around my bike holding my thing out, trying to make a vlog because I was so desperate to get on that hype train. And I felt like, now I look back and I'm like, I must look like the biggest weirdo. A couple of bits of string around my neck, my waist, holding a phone to my chest because I didn't have a chest mount for a DSLR. And I didn't have a GoPro or anything. So it's ridiculous the lengths we go to. But getting back on the Apple thing, I just think they did me dirty a few too many times. And I'm now thinking, why do people pay for this? Why are people paying? And now I'm just taking note of the lack of innovations. And I just think, why are they still a thing? And they're charging more and more money seemingly every year for a new phone. So that's what I kind of get confused about. I mean, everyone's willing, I'm more than happy for someone really to buy whatever phone they want. It doesn't bother me. But deep down, I kind of go, yeah, I would never fuck with that again just because my experiences.
Well, it's fair enough. If you had a bad experience with anything, you don't gravitate back towards it.
100%.
Like if you eat some like Chinese food and you like start blowing chunks from both ends, you don't want to go back to Chinese food.
We had that happen. We had that, not with Chinese, but we have a takeaway restaurant or takeaway shop, like a fish and chip shop down the road. We're so loyal to our local fish and chip shop. And we feel so bad, dude, because we haven't been back since this incident. Hurts, man, because they were so lovely to us. And we know that they would know that's why we haven't been back, because they knew our order. We'd go in, they knew it. They'd be like, oh, yeah, you want this? And we wouldn't have to barely say anything. Right. They were super lovely. And we went there one day to get the burger with the lot, has everything on it. And some chips, just one afternoon. It was so easy, so cheap and affordable as well. Man, that's where we went wrong. Cheap. But we got home one day without burgers. We sat down to watch something. And Tay, for some reason, looked at the bottom of it. I don't know why. And there was mold all over the bottom. And I checked my mold.
On the bread?
Yeah, on the bun. Yeah, on the bottom of it. And then I checked mine and I had it on it as well. And I was like, holy shit, we could have eaten that without ever looking. If for some reason she fucking did one of these, why would you do that? I don't know. Looking underneath it. But we know that people in there before us with kids were buying burgers with the same buns. And they would have left and probably not checked it. So we immediately called them up and said, hey, just letting you know, we're not angry. We get accidents happen, but we're just saying you might want to just check your rolls because there's stuff on it. And they were like, they checked the bag, and sure enough, there was the further down in the bag, apparently there was a shit ton of mold. And I felt terrible for them because they said they had only just gotten that shipment from their supplier, whether that's true or not. But that lost them business, you know what I mean? And I feel bad because damn, I love their burgers, but it's hard once you're being done dirty by a company, whether they meant to or not. It's like you have it's trust issues. I know it sounds really deep, but
yeah, no, it's very true though. Like, yeah, it's very true. And like, if you have hamburgers now, do you check the bottom, or are you like suspicious of hamburgers
funny
in general?
enough, I don't. I don't eat burgers at all. No, I haven't. Yeah, actually, I haven't checked a single bottom of a burger yet, which is funny. But if I went back to there eventually and trusted them to make, I would check. I would pray. You know what?
You'd have 2 magnifying glasses, bruh.
Exactly. I'd pray check the whole thing, and that's the problem. I just feel like I just can't go back. Bro, I've taken up so much of your time. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for you to, you call the shots. What needs to happen?
I'm gonna say this has probably been the longest one I've ever done. You probably, I think you've beat. And actually freeze framed a second on your success like pose, which is great. But yeah, I know we've taken this as weird ass directions.
Oh man, it has been everywhere.
It's
been really good though.
Part of me is wondering, did we even get to the end of the story of your workout motivation and why you do it?
I don't think we got there at all.
But I'm keen to even just wrap it on that. Like to bring it full circle. This has been a journey, but like the motivation of working out and you coming to work out, from starting so young and keeping that motivation going. And, like I said, how do you, after you felt like you had a certain feeling for so long, how do you then keep that feeling? And, what has kept you to this point you're at now where you're a swole motherfucker? How do you keep motivated on today after years and years of doing it?
So my motivation changes. I've gone through like many phases of motivation, and like you have to ask yourself why. You need a good why, like why you're doing it. That's what motivates you, the why. So I thoroughly believe, because there's been times when I've not been motivated, like very much so. You have to refresh your motivation often. Like you can't be motivated. You'd be motivated for like 1 or 2 days. You're like, oh, amazing, had a great workout. I'm going to become, the fittest man in the world. And then a week later, you're like, oh, I might just skip today. I don't need to do it. Because you really have to refresh your motivation. It's like because it runs out. It's like it's finite.
How do you
motivation.
Do that? What's the step to refreshing motivation?
You need to find what motivates you. So I went through a big phase where I was watching like YouTubers, like fitness guys. Like there's some fitness guys called the Hodge twins. They're these American guys, really funny, muscular guys. And I used to like watch some of their workouts before I went to the gym. I was like, yeah, cool. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do this. Yeah. So and that motivated me. But now as I've gotten older or transitioned more, a lot of my motivation, a lot of it, I really like doing hard things, like the struggle, because doing hard things and lifting heavy things in the gym gives you perspective of difficulty, and doing difficult things in the gym makes difficult things out of the gym less difficult.
Okay.
So I'm giving myself adversity in the gym and I'm overcoming the adversity.
Yeah.
So it sets me straight, like it's like a constant, it's overcoming a struggle.
And it's a discipline thing. You discipline yourself to stick to even just one thing. And I'm sure it helps you learn how to discipline yourself in other areas. Surely it trickles down into other areas of life, the discipline sense of sticking to something. I mean, maybe not.
Yes and no. Am I a disciplined person? I guess there's areas of my life where I'm very.
I have to be. Surely.
Well, in working out, I am, because I also know how much better I feel from working out. Like after a workout, you feel endorphins, you feel strong, you feel amazing, and you never regret having a workout. And I've been doing it for so long. I know that, but I still have my doubts for sure. A couple of weeks ago, I went through a phase where I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like going. But you just go as soon as you stop procrastinating. Say if you've got to edit some photos, say you've got to, I don't know, broil some pasta, whatever you have to do. You might procrastinate it, but as soon as you start doing the task, you realize, wait, this isn't as hard as I thought. Procrastinating it is far worse. Yeah. And once you actually start working, you actually start to you're like, wait a minute, this is actually really good. It feels really good. So I think it's very important to work. And I really like putting the work into the gym, because it's so funny, because I've never done it for health. I've never done it to be like, oh, this is gonna, yeah, never.
It's just a nice side effect of the...
Dude, it is a bitchin' side effect. It's the best side effect, because I've never been like, oh, I better go to the gym to get my heart, to reduce my blood pressure, or whatever it is.
But it's just just a bonus.
Correct. It's just a bonus. Yeah. I'm sure, especially as I get older and I might, get you might develop health problems when you get older. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I was in the gym, because, I don't have that problem now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bonus. But why I keep going because it motivates me and makes me. I think it makes me a better person because I'm going through that hardship and struggle. I've got an outlet for hardship and struggle.
Okay.
You know, I'm not pented it up. You know, there's difficulty because I don't think there's a real good saying. I heard a military guy say it. It's like, whether it's relevant or not to this, I think it is a little bit. It's let me just think of it and get it right. There's easy times make soft people. Soft people make hard times make hard people make soft times. Like it's a big cycle.
It's a cycle. You know? 100%.
Yeah, I may have butchered that saying, but it's like a try.
I can definitely get what the saying's supposed to mean, and it's true. I mean, you see a lot of people that had an easy life and growing up, and they come out and it starts to be a struggle because then they have to fend for themselves because life maybe isn't as easy. They're not used to the struggle. But a lot of people who struggled throughout life, then they handle things later in life a lot easier because they know they've been conditioned more for that.
Definitely. Like, and absolutely. And that's sort of when I touched on earlier when I said like we had like not a conventional childhood without going into too much detail about it.
You're right.
I think at the time it was, there was ups and downs. It was, quite shit at times. But now it gave me good perspective because I've been through that struggle and it sort of brought me out better on the other side. Like, kind of like adversity builds character, pressure builds diamonds, all those sayings sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a really good analogy that I really like the thought of, like, do you know what? I think it's like gilding something. If something's gilded. Like, say if you get...
I think of when I think of gilded is like World of Warcraft gilded.
yeah.
So you might have to educate me.
Trimmed with colors. So it's like, there's a really good photo of like a porcelain pot or a vase, and when you drop it, it breaks. And then when you gild it back together, I think it's gilding. You use gold to melt it back together, so you can see all the breaks in this vase. Yeah, but it's back in form, and it looks like it's more character. And it's stronger than it originally was.
Yes.
So that's kind of like the epitome of going through hardships.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, it's true. Like all the hardships I think of that I've gone through so far in my short, 31 and a bit years of life, I guarantee they're what have made me so far who I am. And it's 100%. I can imagine if I just cruise through and I think about the easy times in life, and I think if I only had those, I learned nothing from that. So it's 100% that's true. It gives you character. It and it allows you to talk to other people about. It's relatable, you know what I mean? Everyone has their hardships, and having your own as well is very relatable in the world. And
it enables you to have empathy for other people as well. You can understand other people.
Yeah, 100. Oh my God, Daniel. Oh, what? I think this is the record. I don't know how long I was going for before we started, but this is the absolute record. I know there's certain things that maybe we haven't touched on, and goddamn, I forgot to ask people to do viewer questions, and I'm kind of glad I did it this way because I would have been like, I don't know, I haven't got time. But
well, Matty, I'd love to feature again sometime. If you need a guest,
please come on again. I would love to have you on again. And I'm so sorry if I didn't ask as many questions about yourself, which I feel like I don't usually feel like I've kind of dropped the ball. And I don't even feel like I dropped the ball today because it was such a fucking great chat about so many things. But I hope that you don't go away from it going, oh, Matt didn't ask. Like, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and the topics, and I hope I wasn't steering it too much.
Matty, no way. Listen, so I didn't expect to be asked everything about me because I think having guests on and stuff should be you get to know the guest a bit. Yeah. You both talk about different points and you both use your different thoughts to go different ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like I talked about myself a lot. If you ask me, I feels like I did.
Good. Yeah, because I was hoping we did because every time you tried to tell the story of your come up, it just was so interesting. But then it kept being like, wait, hold on a minute. What about this? I feel like I gotta stop doing that. It's but at the same time, yeah, I feel my theory on it is that watching other podcasts potentially that I've seen maybe based around content creation and certain having a different streamer on once a week even or whatnot. A lot of time I've seen them harp on that person and just their story, just their Twitch streaming career or whatever it is. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's super interesting. But for people that maybe don't know who that streamer is, it's a very hard sell to say, hey, come watch this person talk about themselves who you don't know. And I think if you sprinkle a bit of both worlds of like that, you get to learn about this streamer, but that you also get to hear some different shit that you might not have known and have some laughs. I think it's more likely that every day people are more likely to come in no matter who's on. And that's beneficial to everyone in that way, you know what I mean? So I always hope I balance it out well. And I hope I balanced it enough today, because I do feel like hearing about your story as well and your fitness motivation is having that trickle into life in general is super motivating and super interesting. And I'm going to try and apply a lot of that as well, you know what I mean? And I look forward to having you on again, and we'll hopefully talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, because I feel like there's so many more things I could have talked to you about. But,
yeah, man, absolutely.
But I think we've hit a fucking record today, and I think that's going to be, you're going to be the one to beat. I have to double check, because I know I streamed pretty close to half an hour maybe before we start, but at the moment the uptime is 4 hours and 10 minutes. So I
think we started around 5:30, the actual podcast. I think 5:25 or 5:30 maybe we started.
Oof. So you might be very close to MattyAP. Matt's one I think went for.
Oh yeah, wasn't he really long?
3 hours and 40 minutes, I believe, something like that.
Oof.
So yeah, all right, we'll have to find out. But Dan, this is the part of the show where you get to plug yourself.
Oh, on stream, that's a bit loose, mate.
Hey, whatever pulls in the viewers, huh? But where can people find you, dude? Like, what do you got going on at the moment and all that?
Oh, this is nice. This is nice. This feels quite cool. I feel like I'm on a real show. I'm being like, I
know. And feel free to just ramble on his account to beat Matt. I'm okay with it. So
don't say that. We'll go for a long time. So, hi everybody. My name is DanPentz. You probably know that already because I've been hanging out with Matt for the past 3 hours.
Someone's probably there going, "What the fuck? Wait, this is DanPentz. I thought DanPentz was tomorrow. I thought I was watching Matt again, MattyAP Matt again." All right.
That'd be so funny because we've probably only said like our names at the start.
And like, so someone might have come through. True. All right, continue. DanPentz. Yep.
I like to stream on the internet. We talked a little bit about that. I like to do IRL and cooking streams and fitness streams and play some internet games at times. DanPentz is my name, and that's my username on Twitch. I do Instagram, which is mainly fitnessy stuff, and my Instagram stories are kind of like funny, fitnessy food sort of stuff. And I have a Twitter too, and it's all DanPentz except bloody. Look here, bloody Matty and Matty.
I did notice this. Yeah.
Bloody Twitter. Unfortunately, I have to have an underscore at the end of my name because Daniel Pentoni, who's not even Pence, he took it.
Daniel Pentoni, you slime motherfucker.
You rat dog. I know.
You slime motherfucker. I'm sure he's a super lovely guy, though.
Yeah, no, he's a bloody
we have to say that to cover ourselves, but fuck that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, really do it. No. So yeah, that's my they're my stuff. If you like it, bloody go for it. If not, it's been a pleasure to talk to Matty, and thanks for watching, everybody.
Legend. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I fucking appreciate your time. A lot of your time. Pleasure. And we will 100% have you on again, man. I thank you so much for being a part of it and giving me a chance to, without me having much to show you, hey, be on my podcast. And you're like, let's do it. Like, thank you for being so accommodating and such a great guest, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Pleasure.
Oh, that's really nice. Thanks, man. Look, I really like you. I know we met once at PAX, and you're just like full of beans, full of energy. I could tell straight away. You know, you can see the people that glow. You know, there's people and there's people with a spark. You can see it. You can detect it. I don't know if you can feel it.
Matt, you're not one of those.
And that was the guy next to you, Pat. No. 100% you, man. 100% you.
Thanks so much, man.
I could tell, and yeah, from that day forward, like we've seen each other on stream a little bit, and your energy, and like I can just. You know, I can tell I really like you.
Thank you so much. Likewise, brother. I feel like it was the same thing. Although, unfortunately, you disappeared on us like that night.
That's a story for next time.
And everyone was like, where the fuck? I should have asked.
That's a story for next time.
Right. Next time, the follow-up. Find out what happened to DanPentz because he came out with a bunch of us to go just to some bars and have some drinks. And next minute, everyone's looking around. After you've been with us for maybe half an hour to an hour, I don't know. And everyone all of a sudden was like, hey, where'd Dan go? And we're like looking under tables and in the bathrooms. Dan, you okay in there, Dan? And we just never knew where he went. So I'm very curious to know. Ooh.
Dude, that was a really interesting night too. Like,
oh no, why did I not think to ask this earlier?
Oh, dude, let me just put it this way. We met the one and only, the poo-handed beer stealer. We met the poo-handed beer stealer.
I did hear. I was watching some of your YouTube videos. Oh, I watched your packed recap video, and I heard you talk about it. Oh my god, the name of it is so dirty.
The poo-handed beer stealer.
Oh my god. All right, I reckon. I know the story. They don't. Do you reckon we should leave him hanging for the next time?
Leave him hanging, baby.
Oh, leave him hanging. Get him in for the next one. Get him in for the next one. That's right. You'll have to be waiting. But now people are going to be triggered. They're like, no. Oh, Dan, thank you so damn much, my sir. Thank you for
pleasure, Matty.
And thank you for also taking over the stream and the podcast for a hot minute as well, so I could relieve myself.
I was honoured with your trust. Honoured, mate.
I'm a cry right now. I'm a cry. That's amazing, bro. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and we will talk soon enough, and you'll be back on here before you know it.
Woo! Much love, man. Thanks, Matty.
Legend. Take care. Have a good one, Dan.
You too. Bye, man.
Make sure you check him out. DanPentz.
Bye, everybody.